All right, good morning, everyone. Today is December 19th, 2018. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, Commissioner Fan, General Counsel Riano, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Held, and myself, Secretary Donahue. The next meetings of the authority are January 9th. This is a 3-week break from today's date. January 23rd, February 6th, and February 20th. And those are all Wednesdays. Items will be called in the order they're assigned in, first in Buffalo, if there's anything there, then in Albany, and then in New York City. As your item is called, please approach the podium, speak into the microphone, because that's recording everything that's going on here. And please announce your name when you get started. If you have a cell phone, please silence it. If you have to take a call, please take it outside. Chairman, do you have anything before we get started with the items?
I do. Donald, come to the podium, would you? Quick, we're all waiting on you. Joe, you want to? So, Donald, I've been made aware that I don't think this is your last day, but one of your last days here. So we wanted to recognize that, and we have, I'm going to let Joe say a few words, but we also have a plaque commemorating your service.
He laughs.
And it should also say you're the sharpest dresser at the Liquor Authority, but it doesn't. Joe, you want to say?
Yes, just on behalf of the entire.
Joe is Donald's supervisor. That's why he gets this privilege.
Absolutely, that's right. And we just, on behalf of the entire Enforcement Bureau, we just wanted to thank you for your service, your time here, and your dedication has been appreciated, and it hasn't gone without notice. You've done a great job here. I know as long as I've been in charge of the Enforcement Bureau, you've done a tremendous job, and it's appreciated. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
So, and I just wanted to add to that Donald was one of the first people I met here, and the one thing that I found out about him very quickly is while he works for enforcement, is a man of many talents. He will basically do anything that we ask him to do, which is going to make him very hard to replace. So we are going to miss you here. I'm going to read the resolution. Whereas the members of the New York State Liquor Authority have been advised that Donald L. Bryan is retiring from his position with the State Liquor Authority, and whereas Donald served his country for 7 years in the United States Army, reaching the rank of sergeant with the 82nd Airborne Division, and whereas Donald began working for the authority in 1986 and has worked with distinction in both the Enforcement Bureau and the Office of Counsel, and whereas Donald has served his fellow employees as a union officer, including a term as chair of the Regional Veterans Committee, and whereas Donald has been an invaluable assistance to the members of the authority when we conduct our full board meetings, and whereas Donald is known for his dedication to his duties, work ethic, willingness to assist others, sense of humor, and sartorial splendor. Therefore, it is hereby resolved on behalf of ourselves and the entire staff of the authority that we hereby acknowledge the exemplary service of Donald L. Bryant to this agency and extend to him our sincere appreciation for his many years of service to the United States of America and to the state of New York, and extend to him our best wishes for a healthy, fulfilling, and long-lived retirement. And it is hereby further resolved that this resolution shall be formally entered upon the minutes of this meeting, and that forthwith a copy of this resolution shall be provided to Donald Bryant. So congratulations. He can get it, Joe.
I just want to say one thing. It has been a pleasure serving this agency, and the members of this agency, and I will be missing everyone. It's been a joy, and I thank you all. Thank you, Donald.
Thanks, Donald. Jonathan, we have a box back here for that of you, so it doesn't break it on the way home. Got it.
All right, ready to proceed?
Sure.
All right, we have one item in Buffalo. It's item 2507. Zebras 3 Corporation. You don't have that number yet.
Yeah, I figured that out.
I think actually, the numbers you have under Buffalo are actually the Albany ones.
Oh.
What's that?
State your name for the record.
My name is David Zimmerman. Are they waiting for me?
No, we're kind of reading what happened here. I mean, it's a sale of a minor, as I'm sure you're aware, and you defaulted on it.
Well, actually, I had spoken to Jamie Gallagher about 2 weeks ago, and I got 2 notices in the mail just the week before that, and it was already past the cutoff date. I wasn't in town. I have a restaurant on Lake Erie. I'm only open right now for Fridays and Saturdays. I was out of town when I got those. But the reason I'm actually here is I wanted to find out. Now, I know I used to work years ago. I've been there. This is going to be going on my 12th year. And how does it work that the bartender does not get cited for serving the minors?
Well, this was done by investigators of our agency, and they don't have the ability to arrest the bartender. Had an officer been there, the bartender would have been arrested.
Okay, but like I said, I've been there for 11
It's the license is in your name, therefore whoever works for you is the one responsible. I mean, you're the one responsible. They're your employees, you're supposed to be supervising them.
And I have a handbook, and it's stated they have to read it, they have to sign it, but I'm still, 2 years ago I had 95 W-2s, so I hire a lot of people through the town of Westfield, but I get different times when I got, one time somebody had accused me of bringing liquor in from Pennsylvania, so I had to go through everything, being guilty until they found out that wasn't true. And then also, but what I'm saying is, how do you control somebody that's, I just got done with Mike Clausen doing somebody, a parent had called in saying that there was a kid was too young to be working there, and.
Are you asking me advice on how to run your business?
No, I'm asking you, well, I'm asking how can somebody, with all the employees, if somebody just wants to serve somebody, even though I have I'm trying to train them and I have it listed, we have the signs up, everything, but I'm at the mercy of the person. And
well, I'm going to tell you a story, and then we're going to end this. We had a guy in here who wanted a license about a month ago. He had been in the bar business for 35 years and had about 4 or 5 different licenses in New York City during that period of time, and did not have one violation with this agency. So you might want to give him a call. But
then,
I'm not here to tell you how you're supposed to control your employees, but at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. So I don't know where you guys are. This is a default, so you're basically here for the penalty.
And the issue, too, for me, is that the license was clearly marked under 21. They showed them their actual license.
I understand that, but he did. That's what I'm saying. He's my manager, too, who's supposed to be training these kids, so he doesn't work for me anymore, but yeah, he read
Okay,
it.
the members are voting.
I'm at 3,000.
Yeah, the law says 3,000.
3,000.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Oh, one other question. I'm just wondering, is there any time that when they do come in and they do card, is there any way of getting a response so that, the employees know that they are out there? We tell them every day, you got a card, but is there, you never hear anything unless you get caught. Is there any way of...
No, when we do operations where we're going to visit a number of locations in a region, we do a press release before we go. And I don't know that you were caught up in one of them, but we recently did one in the fall, and there was a press release that was carried extensively in the press that we were going to be out there. In this instance, it could be the fact that we got a complaint that your bar was serving underage people, and as a result, we sent investigators there. I don't know which one because I don't have that paperwork
No,
in
I
front of
think
me.
I think it was the first one, because there was like 6 different areas or places in Westfield that all that same day or weekend that
Then
got
we,
cited,
then we
so-
announced
No,
it.
no, we got a complaint on this one.
Oh, it was a complaint. We got a complaint about your bar.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Michelle, I have nothing else in Buffalo.
There's no other items signed in Buffalo.
Okay. Going to go to Albany now. The first item is 2508, Early Terrible LLC.
Good morning, if it pleases the commission. My name is Jim Lenan. I was formerly with the law firm of Lenan and Fallon, who submitted the original application that was rejected by the licensing board and brings us here today. As some of you may know, my office and I have been doing licenses for probably about 40 years, and I would suggest to the board that the current situation is a result of lack of communications between a couple law offices, the original paperwork being done down in Kingston, and then my office having prepared portions of the license, and the applicant having prepared portions of the license, and also a result of some less than stellar review by my then office. In this case, the applicant, Gray Ballinger, filled out a personal questionnaire for his father without the knowledge of what his father's full background was. Gave it to his dad, who quickly signed it without looking at it, and it went in with the application. It was totally erroneous. It said in that application that his father, Douglas, was going to be a part owner of the business, while in fact the operating agreement, which is part of that original application and the current application, clearly the operating agreement that was dated December 1, 2017, clearly states that Gray Ballinger is the sole and exclusive owner principal of the LLC and the manager of the premises. From a practical point of view, his father Douglas, while giving some financial support to help his son open a second establishment, has no intent, never had an intent, in fact does not want to be in the business of selling alcohol. He was in that business and got out of it many years ago.
Well, that's a pretty big mistake on an application for someone who does them frequently.
It is a terrible mistake. It is a mistake that has cost my client a lot of time that this has been pending and presumably lost income. And I'm here to say that the mistake is not that of the applicant, the mistake is that of the attorney he hired, which was my office, which is why I'm here today. I would note for the authority's benefit that the applicant, Gray Ballinger, has had another license for the past almost 3 years, has had a successful business without any hint of any violations. He knows the business. He's actually third generation in the hospitality industry. And a paperwork error that should not have happened, had proper legal work been done by the law firm he hired, we would not be here discussing this matter.
Why don't we have, excuse me, why don't we have a personal questionnaire for the father anyway? He gave the loan, didn't he?
New applica-
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably in the file.
Oh, we
But
just don't
wouldn't-
have it.
We wouldn't attach a lenders to the
Okay.
app.
Yeah, no, the reason he was told to get a personal questionnaire was the dad was the lender. The questionnaire was
All right, let's get to the bar itself. What's the outdoor area going to be?
I'm going to defer to the licensee on this and let him respond to your questions, if I may, as he's here with a far better knowledge of the premises than I.
Good day. Thank you for hearing us out. The outdoor space is going to be a small veranda with about 20 seats or so.
And is there going to be music out there?
No, sir.
I got 32. On the diagram, it looks like there's 32 seats.
That may be so. Difference of banquet size.
And you're not going to have any music out there, recorded or otherwise?
No, sir.
And then
Ambiance only.
what's the music inside?
Music inside, we may have a Sonos system, but that at the very most, we're looking to have spoken word, a calm ambient environment, that sort of thing. Music isn't big on the list.
So not, you have live music checked on the application. You don't plan on having live music?
No, sir.
All right. What are the hours?
Hours will be from about 5 p.m. to about 11 o'clock p.m. Maybe a little bit later on the weekends.
So I take it with no music, there won't be dancing.
No dancing, sir. None whatsoever.
All right. And you're going to manage this? You're not hiring a manager?
I intend to be there more or less full-time. I have an apartment in Woodstock, and I will be working with training a manager down there to eventually take on full responsibilities.
What was this place previously?
I believe it was a law office, sir.
Are you gonna have security?
We don't intend to have security unless we have to. But it wouldn't be the type of establishment that would in any way warrant security.
Can you pull this up on your thing? I just don't know where it is.
It's a setback. Yeah. It's like a standalone house.
It's like a little house that's set
Yeah.
on the street.
No, but I know this road, that's why I want to...
It's directly opposite the restaurant Sylvia's on Mill Hill Road. You may be familiar with that. It's currently has a little green space in between two buildings.
Oh, okay, I know where it is. All right, thanks. I have nothing else.
All right.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
Commissioner Fan?
With no DJs, no live music, no dancing, manager eventually down the road, no security for now, 5 to 1 a.m., I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to approve as well. Same conditions.
And Chairman
I
Bradley?
vote to approve on the same conditions. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item in Albany, 2553, Neo Liquors, Inc.
Good morning, members. Glenn Kabiskas for Needle Liquors, Inc. With me is Nigelish Patel, one of the principals.
Is there any opposition there?
No, there's not.
Okay, go ahead.
The matter before you is a removal. It's a forced removal due to the new landlord principal at the current location. He has decided he wants the current location for himself. Therefore, he has a court-ordered eviction. He's currently being penalized $10,000 a month for each month he has not moved out. He has a new building about between 500 and 600 feet away, directly on Route 209, which he'll occupy. The interior space is about 2,100 square feet. We initially had estimated 25, but that included the rear access, the rear utility rooms that are not part of the premise themselves. Out of this 2,100, between 400 and 500 is going to be storage, as opposed to his current location, which is very narrow, has very high shelves. He'll be able to expand the aisles for the customers and lower the shelf height. I want to stress that this is removal he has no control over.
Yeah, is he the only, I see the building is brand new. Is he the only business in the building? Or will he be the only business in the building?
Yes, and upstairs is unrelated apartment.
Yeah, it looks super close by, right?
All right, I don't have anything else. Do you have any questions?
No.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Fan,
I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to approve as well.
and Chairman Bradley.
I vote to approve. Good luck.
Thank you, members. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, you too.
All right, I have
Mr.
one-
Kubisti, can he pick that up now or no? Since he's there?
Do you have all the conditions?
We don't know what the conditions are.
Yeah, well, I'd have to have somebody on this to give.
All
them
right,
to-
all right.
We can send the letter
Yeah, you're
out
at the
tomorrow.
CO and everything. Okay.
You know what, if you can get it out to us, we can drive back up tomorrow and grab it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
David Tripp.
The next items in Albany are 2484 and 2485, Deja Vu at the Mayro LLC.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Frank Media. I was retained to represent Deja Vu with the Mayrow Buildings with respect to the reconsideration request.
Is this an overtime?
No, this was before you, you accepted the CNC, now they're requesting reconsideration of the CNC.
Oh, right, okay.
And I think it was a question of time to pay.
Right, go ahead. I remember it, I just don't have it in front of me.
Yes, members
Oh, I
of the
got
board, I had been retained after the initial, I believe an agreement reached between the former attorney and the liquor authority with respect to a disposition. And my client, when he received notice of the penalty phase, which included, of course, the 30-day suspension and a $15,000 fine, he had contacted me because he was very concerned and surprised about the $15,000 fine. I believe it was a misunderstanding. What happened was my client had to go and sign a form, and I haven't seen it, and I'm not privy to it. I believe he signed it at his lawyer's office, and he didn't realize what he didn't read it, he just signed it, and he didn't know that he was gonna have a $15,000 fine, and that he didn't agree to the $15,000 penalty. And this was learned after the fact. There were some discussions with his previous attorney about the penalty amounts, but not $15,000. So I can't vouch for exactly what transpired with respect to the communication between his former attorney and my client. However, my client is requesting a reconsideration of the penalty amount based on the equities that we presented in our papers. I had initially asked the board to just modify for the time period, but my client just reopened recently, and he voluntarily closed the place upon information and belief for about 6 months when these issues started to come up. So he didn't obviously generate any income, and we're just concerned about the penalty amount and the time period to pay. We're respectfully requesting, if possible, to be reduced in some fashion, or any alternative, if the board feels that the penalty has to stay the same, if we could at least be given extended period of time to pay that. He just reopened, I think, a couple weeks ago. This week, members of the board, so he would need some time to generate some income.
How long was he closed?
I believe he was closed voluntarily for approximately 6 months.
Well, what were the months?
Sure. From what I have here, my client told me he was closed voluntarily from in or around April of 18 until October of 18, where at that time he was suspended, of course, based on the decision, the disposition that was met. So it was closed for a whole month. So it's been closed since in or around the spring of 18, as far as my client informed me.
And then this last incident was February of 18. So I mean, he's got 4 disorderly premises over 4-month period, and then he's shut. So I don't even have any, and actually, I'm sorry, April 1st, he had a disorderly premise. So it's, there's no period of time that he was operating that he's actually been clean, is my problem. So you want us to decrease the penalty, but there's no indication to me that anything is going to change until some time has elapsed.
Yes, well, and I understand, I don't want to waste the board's time with the merits of it, but
Do you know this,
to
Bob?
argue the equity, what I put in the papers for reconsideration is that these allegations, which I know are already resolved on the merits with respect to the liability portion of this, It didn't occur on his premises, it didn't occur inside, it was actually off premises. And there were some underlying, you know, political issues involved with it, which I put in my papers, but I understand that the board.
Well, the former mayor, or the new mayor is not capable, you're telling me he started the fights outside the bar?
No.
Well, then-
The enforcement committee was his son-in-law that was involved with the bars and the restaurants in the area, and then they were enforcing these issues. But they weren't, he had adequate security there, he had cameras, he had scanners set up, and everything was fine until this past year when these incidents occurred, but they were outside of the bar, now up
Well,
the
see,
street.
the incidents occurred anyway. And one of the charges is that he went beyond maximum occupancy, which leads me to believe that that was a recipe for disaster. And on that night that he was beyond his occupancy, he had a disorderly premise charge. So I don't know that the mayor stuffed people into his bar and made him have significantly more people there than were allowed.
No, I understand that, yes. Well, what we're asking for is he did not understand, he agreed to something, he signed a letter from his attorney, which was a proposed, I guess it was a proposed offer to the board, and he didn't realize it was $15,000, it's a lot of money, and that's why we're asking for reconsideration. I didn't want to waste the board's time with the merits of the underlying liability issues, but he didn't understand what he signed. He went into the office to sign different legal papers, and he actually signed it. He didn't agree with $15,000, and we're just asking, in the interest of fairness and justice, if there's any way that it can be modified, or at the very least, if he can have some extended time to pay it, because he did voluntarily close the premises for a long time, and no revenue generated from it, and he just needs some time now that he's reopened again this past week. He's going to change the establishment to a different culture of patrons. He's going to try to turn it into a sports bar so he doesn't have these similar issues again. But he can't totally control the way people act at the facility. He's tried his best.
Yeah, but he has to.
Yeah, why don't we let the current Utica resident take this one? You're on.
Well, let me ask you something. When if a letter goes out, when does the letter go out?
Penalty letter?
Yes.
Would go. The penalty letter would probably go out within 3 or 4 days after the board meeting, and then they'll have like a month to pay the penalty.
Okay. All right. This is what I think what I'm willing to do.
Okay.
You've been closed now for what, 5 or 6 months, something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you probably already lost a lot of business. But to the chairman's point, you know, when you were open, you had some repeated issues.
Sure.
Your attorney, you had asked for Mr. Aney. Was that Mr. Aney, or is that you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Frank Maney.
Mr. Aney's office, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You'd asked for a reduction to $7,500 and an extension till March 19th. What I'm willing to do is to lower the penalty to $10,000, and it's due when the letter goes out, and whenever you get it, whatever the terms of the letter are.
Okay.
So, what did you say, it's like 30 days when he gets it anyway?
It'll probably go out Friday or Monday, and then they'll have 4 weeks to pay.
Yeah, so you'll pretty much have by the end of January to pay it, if that's agreeable to the other commissioners.
All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate for
You're
your
welcome.
times, and I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So we'll get the notice in the mail. It'll come to my office probably.
I don't know where it goes.
You'll get copied. You'll get copied on it.
Oh, okay, great.
We all set with that?
Yes, yes, she voted.
Yes.
Thank you, members of the board. Have a great holiday. Appreciate it.
You too.
I've got nothing else in Albany. All right?
There's nothing else here.
Okay.
Hold on, Tom. Somebody's telling me there's one more person
Have a nice
here.
day, okay?
Unexpected.
We don't like that.
I know, in this open meeting.
Yes, I have.
I would too. We got an interpreter here. Let's take that one, and then we'll go back to Albany.
Okay.
Okay.
We have on item 2489 and 2490 is Community Beverage USA Wholesale, Inc. Is the licensee here for that? And the interpreter's here. Come on up.
Morning.
Right there. You need to interpret what they're,
Good morning, sir. Because my lawyer is not here yet, can you extend a little bit longer or wait for the
Everybody's good with this?
lawyer?
Jack, are you good with this?
I think it's fine.
It's up to
We're
you.
just gonna vote. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's okay.
You're good?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell them it doesn't matter. It sounds like we're going to vote to approve this going back to licensing board. So the reconsideration is going to be granted, and he'll get notification in the mail that they're continuing to review it, and if they have any deficiencies, he will be made aware of them. So, after they vote.
Yeah. back
I'm
to
okay
license.
with recon, vote to approve.
Same here.
vote to return the licensing.
Yes.
Send back,
Right.
right.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're all set.
Also,
You're welcome.
thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Good luck.
All right, we have that item in Albany. It's 2550, which is Wine Worldwide, Inc.
Can you put your name on the record?
Wine Worldwide. My name is Samir Ramik.
You're the owner?
Yes.
Everybody's read the memo. I just want to make sure the background is clear.
So my question was, because it seems that this was pretty extensive, do we have any idea how many years this was going on for? Because I know you stop after 15, or in this instance, 21.
We are in business from 2000. We never had any issues with posting or SLA.
Came about as part
This
of
is
our
first time
audit,
ever.
when we did that audit. I don't think we necessarily went that far back.
But do we think it was prevalent?
I know that there was initial talk about doing a suspension, but as Tom
Well, there's
said,
just
it's expired.
the suspension doesn't make any sense. He's trying to apply just for a wine wholesale license now. And so he allowed the liquor wholesale license to expire.
Oh, okay.
And of course, the wine wholesale license couldn't be acted upon because the charges were pending.
Right, all right.
So he essentially he's suspended himself.
And you're going to have somebody in this new wine wholesaler that it understands the ABC law and what your
Yes.
obligations are?
Yes, last time I brought the person who does the postings, and she's the new person who's just gonna be in charge of postings. So in the previous.
This wasn't the person that was in charge of postings before, was it?
No,
Okay.
it wasn't. The people who did, they're no longer with us.
Good.
All right.
And I believe the error was between posting and a catalog, so they were taking a pricing of the catalog. So that was, we changed the system to make it easier for all salespeople to do the posting, to put the pricing, so that we have unified, and I think that's why this error happened.
Okay, I'll accept.
I'll accept.
You okay
Yes.
with me reactivating the
Yes.
class change once payment's made? Because he doesn't pay, he's revoked.
All right, you're all set.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Board? We called SLA before when we wanted to do the class change in August, and in September we applied for class change because we didn't want to have a full license. We don't need the spirits. So I just wanted to know if you're going to be able to get that class change, because right now we're not operating for 2 months already.
I'm
In the
going
middle
to
of the season.
reactivate, hold on a second, I'm going to reactivate your application for a class change, okay?
Thank you. Do
Once the
you
check-
have any time?
Yeah, once the payment's made, thank you.
You're going to get a letter that demands the $10,000 from you shortly. The quicker you pay that, the quicker it gets reactivated.
Okay.
So it's reactivated when we get the check.
Okay, I can get the check this week, that's fine.
That's
I
good.
mean, the license can be done this week or not?
I don't know how long, I don't know where it is, so, but you can talk to licensing when you bring the check up.
What about postings? If we get the license, how are we gonna post for the following month?
I have no idea.
You're gonna have to call our counsel's office, Paul Caramel, about that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
In
you.
all
Thank
likelihood,
you
we're
for
not
your-
going to get to this to January.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
will not be able to operate till January.
Probably not.
Okay, thank you.
Dello, I have nothing else on Albany?
Nothing else.
Okay, well said, Jonathan. All right, moving to New York City, the first item, 2503, Brandon Lee.
Good morning, everyone. Robert Romano on behalf of
Morning.
licensee Mr. Lee. And I'm here to answer any questions. Mr. Lee was unaware until late last night that this matter was going to be seen today and called me, so forgive me if I seem a little unprepared.
Well, sustained charge 1.
This was serving to an intoxicated, and my understanding is I appeared before this board once before on a similar charge about a year and a half ago for Mr. Lee, and we presented video evidence, which I was told, and I have not seen, that it's similar in this case as to the last case where it did not appear that the person was intoxicated. It was a judgment call by the cashier, and apparently it was an incorrect call, but it wasn't a black and white issue that they could see an ID and still serve someone. It wasn't serving.
No, but my problem is, and I don't know whether it's the same guy or not, it's clear to me that the people at this store know this guy.
No, this was a different individual. I found that.
All right, but that could be, but the police department knows him by name and face.
Right.
And has testified extensively that he's pretty much drunk all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that he is always near this 7-Eleven. So I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't think he'd been intoxicated. So I'm going to, well, you guys
I
can.
just can also say that the cashier was terminated the next day.
I'm at 10,000.
I would ask if we could do, I mean, it's a 7-Eleven and he's struggling, I can tell you, that they're not, this would have a severe impact, a number like that.
Last time, we just issued a letter of warning.
That was based on the videotape.
Yeah.
And I did not handle the hearing. I have not seen the videotape, but Mr. Lee had explained to me that it was a similar type of behavior from the individual, that he did not appear intoxicated.
What are you at?
I don't think the judge believed him.
What are you
Well, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to go a little less than 10. I would do 8.
9. You good with 9?
9,000.
Are you good with 9?
9 it is.
Thank you.
The next item is 2518, Brewster Venture Group LLC.
There is opposition.
Well, they are? Tom, they got notified?
No, this is the one I told you about.
Yeah.
Mr. Romano is the opposition, right? Right, but they didn't get actual notice. These are the original stores.
Right.
Right, did not get notice of this.
Well, then how did he find out? So are you prepared to do this or no? Because if you're not, they should have been notified, so if you're not, we'll put it over. We have the sales figures of the original application, and I also, did we ask for the sales figures for current?
On this is an odd method of operation change now, so we would not have. It was just
He's
an
the applicant?
application.
Yes, I am the applicant.
Okay,
So this was a highly contested license when the application was first,
I understand.
and now he wants to take limits off. And I don't know that we're going to get the sales figures, that's why I'm asking you. Right, we have them from the original application, we do not have them now, and they weren't asked for, and in order to do that, it would delay it 8 weeks, which we're not really willing to, I'm not willing to do that. So if you're ready to, all right, go ahead. So, did you put your name on the record? I'm sorry.
Yeah, my name is Shahir Brewster. I'm the owner of Apricots and Honey Wine and Spirits.
Okay, Mr. Romano?
What am I?
He let him go first.
Yeah, the opposition gets to go first, you're going to be able to speak.
I'm here with Rung Jiao Lee, also known as Jennifer, who is the owner of the second closest stores, which is B&J Liquors. And I also would like to get into the record 2 letters of opposition from the 3rd and 4th closest stores. Forgive me, given these at 11 o'clock last night. I can read them, or
You can read them since we don't have them.
okay. This is from Blue Dog Wine and Spirits, which is the 3rd closest store. Dear SLA Chairman and board members, I'm writing the State Liquor Authority to protest the proposal to change the status of the operating liquor license for the retail liquor store doing business as Apricots and Honey in Mount Vernon, New York. My store is one of the 3 closest stores to Apricots and Honey. I'm not able to be present at the hearing because the holiday season demands, making it necessary for me to be at work. Further, I was not given notice of the hearing. I only found out in the last few days from another store in the area. At the time of the original granting of the license to Apricot and Honey, there were several stores, including my own, that protested the granting of a license. We cited that the SLA had previously not granted a license to BJ's because retail stores and neighborhood groups had felt that there was already an oversaturation in the area. Fairway, but not BJ's, was granted a license. Then, at the time of Apricots and Honey's application, we again cited the same reasons of oversaturation and that public convenience would not be served. The SLA agreed, but did allow Apricots and Honey to get a license only on the key condition that they would only sell spirits of New York State origin. In my opinion, nothing has changed in terms of economics to the neighborhood or the size of the population now or any other relevant demographic measurements. Public convenience will not be further served by allowing Apricots and Honey to expand beyond the conditions that were required at the time of granting of their original license. I respectfully ask that the SLA board give full consideration to the events that previously denied the license to BJ's and allowed only a license with specific conditions to Apricot and Honey. I ask that the SLA deny the request by Apricots and Honey to change the conditions of their license. Respectfully submitted, Andrew Johnson, owner, president, Blue Dog Wine and Spirits. And the second letter from Mr. Calkins, who is the owner of Wine Gems, is of similar ilk. If you'd like, I can read it, but it's the same argument. And I would like to point out that in the city of Mount Vernon, since this store has come in, which I'm looking at basically flat, and I'm being generous when I say flat population growth, it actually has gone down since 2015. It's decreased. My client is telling me that her numbers, and she purchased a store a year and a half ago, have not been stellar. In fact, they've been flat. The area simply cannot afford 4,200 square foot store, which is a very large store, as you all know, to basically open the floodgates to sales of spirits, which would put a serious and significant dent into not only my clients, but the surrounding stores, which are having a hard time as it is. So for those reasons, as well as others, I would ask this board to deny this application. And I believe, Jennifer, if you'd like to say anything about your store and how it's been doing over the last year and a half, tell the board.
Good morning, member. My name's Ranjali, the owner of the B&J Liquors, which is the second closest store with the Apricot Honey and Wines. And we just purchased our store about a year and a half ago, and we hadn't seen any gross sale was increase. And then, like my attorney, Mr. Roberts, said, so there was on the preparation, there was nothing going up. So I don't think so. There was, and also there was so many stores in there, and I don't think so. We need another liquor store coming into the communities. And this is the second letter I was received. The letter I received from the SLAs that was the applicants for the what am I going to say?
I think you want to say you never opposed an application.
No, this is the second letter from, there was another one that was trying to get the license on the same.
Well, we have no control over people applying. I mean, they can apply if they want to apply.
Okay, I'm sorry. That
That's
was, what I meant is we don't need any more of the liquor stores in the community since we don't.
Well, he's already here, so what we're talking about is product mix. We're not talking about a new liquor store.
Exactly, I'm sorry.
All right, thanks.
Allowing this product mix to change to what they're asking, in effect, puts a new liquor store in the neighborhood by putting potentially, granted it's not going to be 4,200 feet, but they have the potential to put 4,200 feet of spirits that are significantly not New York products. And This was such a contentious hearing originally. They were about, in my opinion, they were about to be denied, and the only reason the board allowed them to go through was with that stipulation. And to allow them to have this roundabout way to open a liquor store, I feel would not be fair to both my client and the other liquor stores in the area. And I believe there is at least one other liquor store in the area that would like to just get on the record. They're not one of the four, but at least you can
Okay,
get on the record.
come.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm with MBP Wines and Liquors at 416 East Sanford Boulevard.
What's your name, please?
My first name is Sung, last name is Kwon, Kwon.
Sanford Boulevard and what town?
It's Mount Vernon.
Okay.
So I'm here because although I'm not one of the four closest stores, I was back here in 2015 when the original license was granted. And as Blue Dog Wines and Spirits had mentioned, at the time the commissioners felt that the market was oversaturated because Fairways had just opened, BJ tried, and with all that liquor in the surrounding areas, you guys felt that this was not warranted. Public convenience and advantage would not be served. I'm here today because as the sixth closest store, I know my sales have been relatively decreased or flat for this year for sure. And I know that Apricots and Honey, they're doing different things. They said that's why they opened, because they have a tasting room and they were gonna do New York wines and spirits. But this today is saying you're letting, as Robert mentioned, 50, basically national brands being sold. It's going to be another liquor store.
Okay.
And they are approximately, although I'm the sixth, about a mile away, they are one exit away from the hutch, and we're both off the hutch. So really, it's a 2, 3, 4 minute ride.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for your consideration.
May I approach the take your picture?
Sure.
So I would like to say to you guys, I wrote this before I even knew that you guys were going to be here, so I guess you guys will hear what I have to say. My name is Shahir Brewster. I'm the owner of Apricots and Honey Wine and Spirits. First of all, I would like to take the time to thank you for this time. Sorry, pardon me. When I first applied for my license 3 years ago, I was opposed by a few liquor stores in my area. I think the main concern that I would establish myself as a big box store, filling my space with nothing but wine and liquor. My space is the actual floor, 3,200 square feet. That was not my dream at all. It was, I know it sounds cliche, and it probably is all for you, but I wanted to create a comfortable shopping experience and friendly environment to help customers with the decisions about wines and spirits. Another part of my dream was to expose the hidden gems in New York State. I fell in love with several distilleries and wineries: Bedell, Kings County Distillery, Macquarie, Standard Wormwood Distillery, Channing Daughters, to name a few. I also had intentions of providing spirits from all over, which I was denied. What I'm asking for is the opportunity to carry all spirits, foreign and domestic. I still want to carry and support the great spirits from New York, but I need a store to be a one-stop shop in terms of customer needs. Customers come in and enjoy the store and the selection and overall beauty and elegance of the shop, but customers have become reluctant to come to return because they can't get everything they're looking for on the spirit side. As far as servicing the community, I have come nothing short of that. I have done numerous amounts of fundraisers. YAI, which provides developmentally delayed individuals, March of Dimes, the Wartburg, PDC, Homegrown Foundation, CYOP, Boys and Girls Club of Mount Vernon. Those previous foundations are all located in Mount Vernon. Pelham Arts Center, Music Conservatory of Westchester, Masons, Eastern Stars, Amani Charter School, Mount Vernon High School, my alma mater, Iona Prep, 5 fraternities and sororities, 3 judges, 4 city council members, 2 former senators, a Westchester County legislator, and a partridge in a pear tree. If my shop fails, along with help from the community, there won't be another flagship store that carries New York wines and spirits. I'm open the latest. The 4 closest stores, which now I can say, I wasn't going to mention it before, is Blue Dogs, Village Liquor, Wine Gems, and actually on the original 4 would be another one in New Rochelle. They close at 8, 8:30, and 9 p.m. That allows me up to 2 hours to service the needs of the people for 2 hours. I would get anywhere between 15 and 35 people looking for major brand spirits. I also will be responsible in what I carry, and fair to the surrounding stores that carry and what they carry. I'm not trying to take anyone out. I don't want to become a liquor store. I'm just trying to survive my now suffering business. To become a successful store so I can provide for my daughter and myself. I've invested large amounts of money, sweat, and tears into my dream. With your approval to allow me to carry all spirits, I can continue to provide for my family and to the community around me.
What are your hours right now?
My hours are from 11, and so Colonial, they open at 8.
No, yours.
Yeah, mine's is from 11 to 9, Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m.
And what I looked on your website, and one of the major selling points that you had, I watched the video of your initial application from 3 years ago, and one of the selling points, which I think was listened to by that board at that time, which I wasn't here for, was the fact that you're doing wine education classes, not just tastings, but you're having sit-down classes. And I went on your website, and it looks like you haven't had a class since August.
Well, I've been suffering, and
So are we doing classes or not?
I absolutely do classes, but I've been trying to figure out ways of continuing the business and trying to go, and I've been stressed out, to say the least. And I've been trying to, even getting to this point was a struggle.
I know, but see here, and I think the reason you got that license, having watched it, was one, you made an impressive presentation. Two, because it was obvious to me from watching it that they weren't going to give it to you.
No,
and then you made a point of saying, I'm focusing on wines.
Yes.
And that's going to be what I focus on. We're going to have education, and we're going to have tastings, and it's going to be a wine focus to the point that Chairman Rosen actually brought up the fact, why don't you just become a wine store, and he was ready to do that.
Yes.
And you indicated that you could not survive that way, so then they threw out what about if you do just New York State spirits, 15% wines from New York, and then you can sell whatever other wines you want.
Yes.
Without those limits, you weren't getting this license, because it was clear to me that there were 3 applications that were denied prior to you in this area, and that all 3 commissioners at that time spoke of the saturation in this area.
Yeah, and to that point, if you watch the video, I then provided evidence that my area isn't oversaturated. The oversaturation comes from the south side of Mount Vernon. That's where.
Well, they didn't buy that argument, is the point I'm making. They felt it was saturated.
No. Part of the reason when I proved to them that it wasn't oversaturated, because in my area, I'm in the last 4.
If they didn't think it was saturated, they wouldn't have put limits on your license.
The reason why they put limits in, and pardon me, but the reason why they put limits on it is because Colonial showed up. If Blue Dog was just here and
That's not, sir, I do this every day. I can tell you that Chairman Rosen was not going to give you this license.
Can I just finish, please? If Blue Dog's, because Blue Dog is one of the 4 closest ones. Colonial, this one, BJ's, whatever she was, I don't know where she came from, but the 4 closest ones was Wine Gems, Blue Dog, Pelham Village, and one in New Rochelle. The one from Blue Dog told the other liquor stores from Mount Vernon about it, and they came in. And so that was the only reason. If I had to face.
But then how do you explain the other 3 applications that were denied before yours?
Because they weren't in my area. They were all on the south side of Mount Vernon. The south side of Mount Vernon is saturated.
I just watched the video. I watched the video yesterday morning. I'm telling you, you're not portraying it accurately.
No, because I couldn't speak up, and I didn't know what was at stake. I didn't know that I could be opposed and that I would have limits on it. Now, me speaking, because of what I've gone through, the 3 years of everything that I've put into the store, I have to speak up.
But I understand you have every right to speak up, but what you have to understand is it's clear to me that if you had said, I can't survive with those limits, you would have not gotten the license.
I didn't know you.
But now if we're going to give it to you, it's not.
I have the opportunity, like I said, with those other stores that are in Pelham, they close at 8 o'clock.
You close at 9.
But they close at 8 o'clock all across the board. I close close at 10. It gives me 2 hours where I literally have 15 to 35 people that come in because me being on Lincoln Avenue.
Then stay open till 10 and you'll get 70.
But they want the major brands. The New York Spirits aren't selling.
I understand.
And
I understand your
I even
point.
have done the tours to vineyards to promote and to push it. I have done my hardest too. And this New York Spirits and wines cannot compete with it. And all
You're asking us. You're asking me, I should say, to overrule the decision of the previous board. Which I didn't disagree with.
Consideration that I am providing that for New York, and I will continue. I'm not going to diminish my New York, and I'm not going to flood the market. I think everyone is concerned that I don't even think any of these guys have been in my store. If they would want to see what my store looks like, they would know that I'm not a big box store.
I don't think that was ever a concern of anybody.
What's your concern?
No,
that I'm a big box store? We speak about 3,000 square feet. So that you're saying to me that you're concerned about the space that I have, and that I'm going to be like Total Wines and Spirits and shut you guys down.
That's not
what I'm doing.
First of all, they're one aspect of this. They're not the 100. If they weren't here, we'd still be having this same conversation. The fact that they came just shows me that they're probably not doing that well. But that's one aspect of this. The other aspect is that they offered you these limits and you took them. And there was a reason they did it, because they were not comfortable with you being a full liquor store. And that hearing went on for 30 minutes. I mean, they went back and forth with you. In fact, Chairman Rosen was ready to not grant it unless it was wine only. And you said you couldn't survive that way, so then he threw the New York Spirits on top of it. And the other two commissioners agreed with him. And in fact, Commissioner Kim was uncomfortable with the size of your store and made you reduce it by making the educational area bigger.
Didn't make me reduce it. It was already going to be 400 square.
But was he not concerned about the size of the store?
But look at the store, though. When you think about size of the store, you think.
I'm
about
just telling you what happened.
I still have to speak on my own. If you look at the size of the store, yes, it's huge. But look what I did with the space. I'm not trying to be a big box store, and that's the most part of the point. Even if I get liquor, and it would just be so I can stay open and just survive.
The thing I have to concern myself is what's changed since they made that decision. And from what I can tell, nothing, other than the fact that you have said that you're struggling, which I feel for you.
What do you mean by what has
the
changed?
population hasn't gone up. The other stores that are against you are both testify that they have flat sales. So there's nothing.
But the ones that have flat sales aren't. She's on the opposite side. Colonial's on the opposite side.
They're missing the point.
I'm not missing the point. I think that you are, and I apologize for that. But I'm talking about in my area, Pelham is my closest area. The side of Mount Vernon, like she said, she's 2 miles away from me if you drive. As a crow flies, yes, she's shorter. But when on the driving side, she's much shorter. I have a mile. Half a mile from one store in Pelham, and a mile and one full mile from Blue Dogs. They're all a mile away from me, and they close early. Once they close, that gives me an hour to 2 hours to satisfy the needs of the people. She's on the opposite side. I will never affect her.
The one thing we did give that this license was given to you to do was to educate the people, which you just acknowledged you're not even doing.
But I can't do it because I can't survive. I'm in there by myself. I can't even put together things anymore because at the beginning I was able to do it. I was trying my hardest. People were attracted, and after time, because I couldn't provide the needs of having the big brand spirits, people stopped coming in. People tell me all the time, "Oh, you don't have these spirits. I can't shop here." And then they go all the way to Fairway. You know, and Fairway is further than Colonial. It's because I don't have that. I do attend.
Mr. Brewster, let me ask you this: what kind of sales figures have you had? I don't see any of that in this package.
I didn't need to know to provide it, but I would say that it was from last tax return. I think it was something like maybe 200,000, maybe 230,000, and I think if I could at least get it to 300,000, that's enough to survive and just to be there. I'm not, and once again, I'm not looking to shut anyone down. I'm just looking to survive, just like how you have done. I have a daughter trying to.
Mr. Brewster, why don't you speak to the members?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions? I don't have any other questions.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
I'm ready to vote.
Commissioner Fan.
I think this is about survival, so I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Ford.
I'm inclined to vote to approve as well, but with some kind of caps, not just total all and out.
I understand that.
Maybe like just like 20% spirits or something like
That's
that.
fine. That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm voting to deny. I watched the video. It was clear to me that this license would not have been granted, and based on the numbers that he's telling us, probably should not have been granted. The education, which was one of the major selling points, is clearly not going on, and which is still a part of your license and a requirement that you do.
And I will do it if I continue.
Mr. Brewster,
I'm sorry.
And I think that this just sets a bad precedent that if somebody comes in and limits are placed on a license, that if they're not doing well, they'll get what they wanted to begin with. But I vote to deny.
All right, so let's go back then. We have,
I'm okay with 20%.
you're saying 20% non-New York spirits?
Out of all the spirits, 20% can be non-New York, yes.
And Commissioner
Right,
Ford,
that's what Commissioner Ford meant, right?
And I'm okay with this only because it's been really almost 4 years, right?
Yes.
January of 2015 is January 2019 in a few days.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 4 years, and this is the first time you've come back.
Yes,
Have a
I
change.
didn't. I wanted to make sure that I can do it. I was trying to. Sorry.
So while I agree with the chairman that, you know, you wouldn't have got the license to begin with, but, you know, I do think you probably gave it a decent run before you came back to ask for some kind of consideration. So that's where I'm at. So there you go. No.
No, it's 20% spirits.
Nope.
I mean, I think that he does provide a different shopping experience given what the store looks like, and as a consumer, I find it frustrating sometimes to go into a really nice store, but there's nothing that I want to buy, and let's see if this helps.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I will do the tastings and the education. I promise you. Thank you.
All right.
The next items, 2529, 2530, and 2531, Brother Holding Group, Inc.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Howard Levine. I'm here for the licensee on a conditional no contest offer. I had originally spoken with counsel's office, and we had agreed on an offer of $5,000 because the charges, although they're serious, when you look at them, they do not demonstrate that the licensee has abdicated its responsibility, notwithstanding the fact that we have been here before. Licensee acknowledges that it took full responsibility, and it has changed its operation from top to bottom. You'll notice that
You're saying our counsel's office said 5,000 and no suspension?
yes, and I was
You
advised.
want to know what I wrote down on yours?
No.
30,000 in 30 days.
I was advised that it came back from the secretary's office because it was too lenient.
No.
I don't know.
He doesn't make that determination.
Then the original offer was 5,000, and then I got contacted back that it had been rejected. Perhaps it was from your office, but if
No,
you,
it probably was from council.
Probably me.
but if you
Did you submit 5,000
I submitted 5,000.
after any negotiations?
Yes. The offer of, yes.
So then it got rejected by
I mean,
a
it's possible. I
supervising
could check. I mean,
prosecutor?
I'll make this easy. Regardless of that, it's, and I'm looking at this, it's now 20,000 in 30 days. So I would either stick to that, or I would have a discussion, because obviously the chairman was thinking of something.
I do want to have the discussion. Thank you, counsel. If you look at these charges, the first set of
Well,
charges.
let's start with the charges, the previous charges, and
Absolutely.
then look at these charges.
Sure.
Because they're very similar.
Only in the disorderly premises, but you'll notice that licensee has taken extraordinary measure to change its operation from top to bottom. There are no charges of
Since what,
unlicensed-
April?
Well, there are no charges of unlicensed security guards. There's no charges of unauthorized purchases.
No, just drugs.
Well, no.
In April.
In April, there was one person spotted with a straw in her hand for a surprise business inspection. But you'll notice from that business inspection.
And I don't even need to look. I'm assuming this is a karaoke bar?
This is a karaoke bar, but.
Shocker.
No, but there was not one summons issued on the business inspection. All they noticed was one person with a straw. I brought pictures.
That had ketamine in it.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was ketamine. It was suspected. I don't have anything in the paperwork provided to me to demonstrate that it tested positive. But I brought pictures today because I just want you to see. They've put a tremendous amount of money into this space. This space is absolutely gorgeous. And I have the head of security here with me today. The first charge happened before the prior no contest plea, and I would respectfully submit that it should have been included in those charges. The next charge was someone refused to pay their bill.
It happened, the first charge happened
June 7th, 2017.
2 weeks before the no contest plea.
Right.
So you think 2 weeks we should have added it on to that?
No, I think that it should be taken into consideration that we then came.
Why don't you get to the number you want to get to, because you're not getting it, but we might as well get there.
I would suggest that whatever the number is, that it does not include a suspension, because the licensee has done everything within its power to operate a clean ship here. It is the one that contacted the police on the 2 occasions that the police arrived, and that's exactly what it should have done.
Do we have anything pending?
Yes.
What?
There is one thing
We have an
pending.
issue that we have one thing pending that there's a pleading out on, and there's another thing that looks like a.
So let's do the math here. So we got, from February, they got their license in November of 2015.
Yes.
From February of 2016 until it sounds like present, they have consistently, either every other month or every month, had an issue at their premise, and you're telling me they're doing everything they can.
No, that's not correct. There was no issue in the entire summer of 2017. There was no issue in the entire winter of 2017.
6/17, disorderly premises, failure to supervise, 2/27/18, disorderly premise, October 2017, disorderly premise, April of 2018. Then I can go all the way through 2016, which looks like it starts in February and goes all the way through November.
Right, so July,
So we've had 3 years of operation, and we've had 6 months of clean living.
But if you look at these charges, and I know that.
I would cancel on these charges. So why don't we go with, I'm going to let them vote and see where they are, and I'll go with them since it's obvious that I'm a little more biased on this.
May I just make one point? One of these charges, a patron refused to pay his bill. The employee said, "Sir, you have to pay your bill." The guy took a punch at him. Our security immediately controlled the situation and called the police, and he was out. In another situation, a person hit a person.
If you want to argue the facts of the case, then we go to hearing.
I just want you to take it into consideration.
I took
That's all
the
I'm
biggest thing I took into consideration is their 2-year of adverse history, which is remarkable.
And the fact that they have 4 employees who have
They
taken
should have 10.
alcohol awareness training and are certified, have the certifications here today.
And if they end up, I don't know what these charges are, but
I purposely didn't ask for those charges to be combined with these. I'll tell you something, there are not many people.
if they end up getting sustained, they're losing the place.
And I understand that, but I just want you to understand, and I realize you have a room full of people here.
We actually don't.
Not many people revere law enforcement like I do. At a critical point in my life, I faced the choice of whether I go into the police academy or I go to law school. And it remains to be seen whether I made the right decision, but I will say this. In that case, I believe that there has been such a miscarriage of justice that I didn't even ask for it to be considered with this. In that case, what's going to come out is the lieutenant of that precinct.
I don't want to. I don't even know the facts of it. So you're talking to somebody who's completely ignorant on it.
Fair
so I
enough,
don't.
but I did not ask for it to be put with these charges because I believe that they won't be sustained, and so too does my client.
Okay.
You ready to go forward?
Yes. Unless they have questions, I don't have any.
I'm
ready to vote.
Commissioner Fan?
Can we change the date of the suspension to later?
You can do whatever you want. Or you can take it off and add more money, whatever you want to do.
You can accept the penalty and impose whatever date you know.
I'll take 20. I will move the suspension till after Chinese New Year.
20,000 in suspension after Chinese New Year?
Yes.
Would you consider?
Which will be February 15th, let's
Would you
say.
consider a lesser suspension in light of the fact that this trajectory of this licensee has gone markedly in the right direction following a rather?
I don't know. That remains to be seen. You can make that argument the next time you are here.
Commissioner Ford?
I was really leaning toward more of a larger penalty instead of a suspension. I was going to go with 30,000 and no suspension. Your history here is terrible.
All right, so what do you want?
Can I have a minute to speak with my clients? Can we recall this in just a
Yes.
moment? Thanks so much.
The next item, 2554, Angels of the World, Inc.
You're coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Kerry Katsouris for the licensee. Present with me is Mr. George Stupas, the principal of Angels of the World. At the outset, I want to thank the board for putting this matter on this calendar at this time. I think the board went out of its way to accommodate me, and I thank the board for doing so.
You're welcome. So just to be clear here, there apparently was an amendment to this pleading during the hearing, which is not on the summary page. So there was a sixth charge that was failure to conform to security guards. That charge was dismissed by the ALJ. So dismiss 1, dismiss 2, sustain 3, withdraw 4, sustain 5, and dismiss 6.
Premises have been closed since October the 4th.
I mean, this was, so they end up with 2.
I also submitted a controversy on this.
Yeah, no, I read it, but my issue with, and this is directed at council, so there's a disorderly premise on 814, which the ALJ found was a spontaneous incident. Then on 829, which is 2 weeks later, there are literally 2 separate celebrity entourages that enter the location, which the licensee was aware were coming,
No, just one.
and
The other one, what's her name? Cardi B. Cardi B came unannounced.
so, but the other person they were aware was a
Oh, yeah.
famous rapper of some note.
The
And
called a
so I find it hard to believe that that would not be something that would be foreseen.
Or a pattern.
Right.
Which is what's required. So I
Right.
think you could see the second 1066 charge as something
Under no
that could be
circumstances
sustained.
was Cardi B expected or anticipated.
But the problem is that there was no increase. You had, at a minimum, one celebrity coming who was at the time, and still is, a very famous person,
We had 18
particularly in that community.
We had 18 security guards.
Well, it obviously wasn't enough. And so I'm going to sustain charge 2 as well, finding that there is a pattern, given the event that occurred on 8/14, not to mention the previous history. So dismiss 1, sustain 2, sustain 3, withdraw 4, sustain 5, dismiss 6. And I'm going to, I mean, you don't want to hear what I'm going to do, so you guys might want to go.
Commissioner Fan and Commissioner Ford, are you all set with,
I will, yes, sustain 2, 3, and 5.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I would say cancel, but given the outcome of this opinion, I would go with no promoters, no bartenders from promoters.
That's what we suggested.
And okay, go ahead. I agree with that.
I'm at 50, but you get your license
We
back.
can't do 50. You can only do 10 a charge.
Which would be 30, unless it's between cancellation and.
So, I mean, and so the record is clear here, because I don't think we've discussed it. Why she's saying no promoters, because it's obvious to me, having read this, and it's obvious, I guess, to her as well, that the promoters were out running this place. The promoters were bringing in bartenders. They apparently had their own bodyguards that they brought in for themselves anytime there was a special event, which apparently they were bringing the audience for the special event. I've never heard of a promoter bringing in their own bartenders, but that clearly was the cause of the incident on August 29th, because if those bartenders weren't there, there's no fight. So I don't know where.
Yeah, and one of the bartenders is the one who she accused of having an affair with her husband, right?
Yes. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Where, Commissioner?
I'm at 30,000, that's right where I was at to begin with.
And no promoters, no bar, and the bartenders must be employees?
No promoters and no freelance bartenders.
Bartenders will be employees of premises.
So I was at cancel as well, but I'll take the 30,000. No promoters, the bartenders have to be employees, no more special events, period. And the hours, I want to change from 1 a.m. Monday through Thursday and 2 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. It's obvious that this place is an absolute focal point for police attention. They can't pay attention to the rest of the precinct because they're worried about what goes on here.
Would the board, say that? Can I have Mr. Stupas speak?
Yeah.
Thank you. George.
Good morning, members of the board. I believe that at this point that I was running my business very carefully, and I was really hands-on. The only thing I couldn't predict was random acts of violence. Obviously, we all know we face that every day in the world around us, and it is the only thing I couldn't predict and I couldn't prevent is the people that just all of a sudden have a problem with another person and they just jump up and get into an altercation. Other than that, I ran my business with an iron fist. And the place, as you're walking in, feels like you're going into the airport. We take shoes off. We check thoroughly. There's absolutely no weapons coming in. There's no paraphernalia. We don't allow anything after that. The only thing I couldn't prevent was random acts of violence. In this particular business, everybody comes in a little bit on the late side. They start coming at 11, 12 o'clock.
And that's when the problems are occurring. See, sometimes these places, similar, like your club, are just too big to be controlled. And when the police have to spend a significant part of their resources to safeguard your customers when they're leaving your location, then it might be too big. So the best thing I can think of, rather than closing you, is to make you shut earlier.
I can understand your concern with that, and I do agree with you on that. The only thing is, because I was very strict on shutting down at 3:45 and everybody exiting the building by 4 o'clock. I myself created, by trying to run the business, I created an issue where everybody had to leave and everybody had to be outside. And everybody had to get to their cars and everybody was bottlenecking to get out. Now, having seen and experienced this, I know that there's a different way to do this. I can soften the music, I can change things. Not having promoters and not having special events, it would limit the business down to 1/3 of what it used to be. If I close a little bit early, it would completely shut me down. With my rent being $35,000 a month, I can see me going out of business in the next few months if I open under those circumstances. Please extend the courtesy, and I can assure you that it will.
The problem is that these are all great ideas you're having, but people got hurt already. These are things that should have been put into place when you got fined the last time, and you didn't do it.
Before someone died.
I mean, now we have people that are hurt, and you're worried that your business is going to go under. And I'm sorry that may be the case, but our job is to make sure people don't get hurt, and I feel bad that they did.
I also feel bad that they did, sir. Believe me when I tell you, I feel very
Would you
bad.
consider a 3 o'clock closing time?
No, I don't. They didn't agree with me yet, so I don't know where they are. I agree with what Commissioner Fan said, but I don't know that she agrees with me.
So,
What are your hours now?
It's a strip joint, Chairman.
10 to 4.
10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
10 p.m. to 4.
6 hours a
know.
day,
That's it.
7 days a week?
Yes.
What?
That's basically
Go ahead, it doesn't matter.
So what's on the table right now is 30,000, 1 a.m. closing Monday to Thursday, 2 a.m. Friday to Saturday, no promoters, the bartenders have to be employees, and no special events.
Correct. I think the only thing that they're considering is the hours would be.
Commissioner Ford?
It's like, if you don't open till 10 o'clock, what are you expecting?
I know, it's basically
This is a
closing.
business where everyone comes in late, sir. They go to dinner, they go with friends. They go to other parties and they stroll in about 12:30, 1 o'clock. If from 12:30, 1 o'clock till 3:45 is when I can actually I have a business. Nobody comes into my business. I cater to it. Nobody comes into my business 8, 9 o'clock at night. It's just no business at that point.
No, and the only thing I will say is the police were very complimentary about your cooperation with them, but it's obvious to me you do try to do what you can to eliminate these problems, but it's not happening.
I can assure you that I will eliminate these problems. Having been here for this issue and having suffered the consequences of events that were beyond my control, I will spend a lot more time to create the control necessary for me to police my business in such a way that these problems will not occur. Because eliminating the promoters, eliminating the special events, then the average person who's going to stroll in, I'm going to eliminate 2/3 of my business if you can. And I'm sure you know what that means. So if I limit my hours, then I would actually have no business left. There would be nothing left.
I'm willing to, with the elimination of the promoters and all of that, I'm willing to give you 2 and 3. 2 during the week and 3 on the weekends.
I'm going to be out of business.
It's an hour.
From 12 to 2, how can I stay sustained in business, sir?
Commissioner, would you consider 3:30?
Please. I can assure you I will not be in front of the board again for any issues like this or any other issues.
No, you won't, because if you do, it'll be the end of the license.
I understand that, and that's why I will make sure that it won't happen. Believe me when I tell you, I'm 60 years old. I'm married 30 years. I have 3 children. I do not drink in my business.
All right.
I
How
don't
about,
smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't gamble.
if I agree to
hands-on.
3:30, that's when people are out. You close at 3 and they're
I
out by
close at
3:30.
3:45 or 4 o'clock. They come out.
They're out by 3:30.
Out by 3:30.
Out by 3:30, sir. I'll take that.
That's just me. You got 2 other people.
I would.
No, I'm where I'm at. It's up to her now.
I do 3:30.
Thank you.
So,
Everything that Commissioner Fan said, and then what were the days at 3:30?
I said 2 during the week.
and 3:30 on Friday and Saturday.
You're listening to me.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
2 during the week, and then
During
3.
the week either. During the week is so practically dead. I will not survive during the week either, sir. Please give me until 3:30, all the night.
This really isn't a negotiation.
No, I'm giving you till 2, and then 3:30 on Fridays and Saturdays.
Well, she said Thursday.
Thursday, Friday,
All right, well,
Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Would you be willing to consider 2:30? Even 15,
Sir, we're not negotiating.
We kind of are.
Well,
But,
Yeah.
so that, they are where they're at, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then no promoters, no events,
No special events.
and the bartenders have to be employees.
Right.
Go for a year. You can come back.
Chairman Bradley, are you going with that too? or-
No, I'm staying where I was.
Which was,
1 and 2.
1 and 2. But they get, whatever these 2 voted on is what they get.
We get 2 and 3:30. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And 30,000.
next item, 2476, JJK and LK Corp.
2476.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There were 3 dockets on this, I believe.
Yeah, then other items is 2496 and then 2497.
Oh, I was going to say,
And
winner,
24 is
chicken dinner, but you didn't.
74.
Yeah.
76.
So we have 76, 96, and 97.
Okay. So on 476, dismiss charge 1.
Okay.
Dismiss, yep,
On 496,
296.
I'm sorry, no,
496.
496, 496. Sustain 1, dismiss 2, sustain 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dismiss 8, sustain 9, 10, dismiss 11, sustain 12, dismiss 13, sustain 14, 15, dismiss 16, 17, sustain 18, dismiss 19, 20, sustain 21, 22, 23, dismiss 24, sustain 25, 26, 27, dismiss 28, sustain 29, 30, 31. So 21 out of 31 are sustained.
There's another case at 30.
And then 2497, dismiss 1, sustain 2, withdraw 3. Except, once again, I'm going to go back.
Yeah, if I may, I mean.
Well, no, not yet. I'm going to 497. Counsel, can you read charge 1?
Sure.
I don't see how that's not foreseeable. Given the prior problems with security.
What case are you in?
2497, which is the altercation assault 930-18. The 3 charges.
Right.
It could be seen as foreseeable. It's
It was an extremely, yeah, I mean, you know, the video was shown at the hearing. It was an extremely fast incident that took place. You had a patron.
Yeah, but so the question is not whether it was a fast incident to me, but whether that fast incident, given your prior problems, was or should have been foreseeable.
Well, when you say prior problems on the premises over the year, prior to that, there were only 2 prior incidents. Neither of those 2 involved security guard. These were 2 incidents, 2 dates, which involved patrons in which the security guards acted promptly, properly, and the charges were dismissed as disorderly premises charges. So I don't see how it's foreseeable because it involved the security guard, which was being approached aggressively by a patron, and on the 3rd time, the security guard.
Because you knew they were absolutely aware that they were having problems with the security guard company before it.
Again, there were only 2.
It doesn't matter whether there's incidents. Were they aware of problems with the security
I'm not saying
guard?
mistakes weren't made, but and again, Mr. Chairman, you read it through very quickly from what the administrative law judge did concerning the 3 cases combined. There were a total of 35 charges. Out of those 35 charges, 18 were sustained and 17 were not.
I got 21 on the big case. I got 21 out of 31 sustained. Then we have 1 sustained on the charge with 3. So that would be 22 out of 35.
Are you going by what the administrative law judge did?
Yes.
All right, I get on the main case of 31, 17.
Because there's some they were subsumed together.
Yes, so there were,
3.
there was a lot of overcharging done here.
Yeah,
So
but it was
out of
assumed.
31
It's the same
charges,
thing.
17 was sustained on the main case. 1 was sustained on the case involving 3 charges, and where there was 1 charge, that was dismissed. So out of a total of 35 charges that were brought, 18 was sustained and 17 were dismissed.
I think we're arguing about the same thing.
But
Are you
but
arguing
putting that
that's a good
aside,
thing?
we have a
Yeah,
total of
18
18 charges sustained. Out of those 18 charges sustained, 7 of those charges involved using security guards. It was contrary to the method of operation.
Okay.
Security guards should have been checked off on the application. This is a restaurant, and there's no charges that it's operating as a club or anything. It's a large.
Most of them are security guard charges.
It's a large. Excuse me.
It seems to me most of them were security guard related.
Those are charges that he was using security guards contrary to the method of operation. Charges 1, 5, 7, 12, 14, and 15.
I mean, you're focusing on that. I'm focusing on the failure to supervise, which there's multiple of, and the sustained pattern of noise disorder, as well as the biggest one, the focal point.
Yes, and I haven't finished, so it's not that I'm focusing on, I'm just going through what transpired here. So we're talking about 18 sustained charges, 7 of which were for using security guards contrary to the method of operation. As I said, it was a mistake. Security guards should have been checked off on the application. Security guards were used. Security guards should be used. This is on Steinway Street, a main thoroughfare. There are a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars and lounges along Steinway Street. All these establishments use security guards. They should be using security guards at this location, and it should have been checked off on the application. It was not. Then you have 1 charge of tinted glass. In mitigation, the administrative.
Can we skip to the more serious charges, please?
Then we have, the main charges that remained were the disorderly premises charges were dismissed, and there was a focal point, the health, safety, and welfare charge, and supervision charge. And mistakes were made, there's no doubt, that I think better security should have been used here. The security guard company, if they're allowed to go back into business, new security guard company.
You just finished telling me that they're a restaurant.
It is, but even the restaurants here, they use security guards. This is along Steinway.
So you think a legit restaurant is a focal point for police attention? You think that's okay?
It's a busy restaurant. It has a substantial occupancy.
And the officer testified it is their worst problem in the precinct.
I understand that. And I think
a quiet restaurant.
A lot has to do with, I think, the security guards weren't doing the job that they could have been doing.
Which, by the way, weren't supposed to be there. And you know exactly why that question's on there. Because if someone comes in with a restaurant and tells me that they're going to be a restaurant, and they don't check off security, that tells me that they probably are going to be a restaurant. But then suddenly this guy goes and takes his license and immediately opens as what we thought was a restaurant and starts hiring security guards because he can't survive as a restaurant.
But I want you to note there are no other issues concerning being a restaurant. It's a full service. It's not that they said they were they were in conflict with their method of operation for being a restaurant. It's a full kitchen. It's a full service.
You know
kitchen.
full well
It's
that
a
if
full
he
menu.
had checked that security guard box, he would have been questioned, why does a restaurant need 10 security guards?
Yeah,
and you couldn't answer that.
I wasn't there for that. It's a substantial sized premises. But again, please note, it's not operating as a lounge or a club.
Well, how do we know? It's only been
full-service
operating.
sit-down.
Let's be
Because there would have been
real.
charges.
They've been operating a year.
You would have had charges on that. The police have been there. The liquor authority was there. There would have been charges. This is full sit-down service, full kitchen, full menu.
What's the hours of this restaurant? What are the hours?
11 to 4.
I don't know that that's going to
11 a.m. They open at 11 a.m.
What restaurant gets 58 911 calls in 7 months?
Exactly.
From the neighbors.
Ah.
No, 911. 911. I'm not even talking about 64 311.
I think if you look at I think a lot of that is just when the police do directed patrol, every time it's logged in as a 991 visibility patrol or directed patrol.
Well, no, there's a 911 call about a grand larceny, multiple calls about shots fired in front of the premises.
What you're portraying this as and the reality of the testimony it's almost like you're talking about two different places.
I'm not talking about two different places. I'm saying that mistakes were made, a better job of security could have been done. A lot of again.
I've rarely seen someone testify to general chaos. That's what they use. That's the word they use for a restaurant.
But inside the premises itself, there's been very little issue.
No, one of your security guards had a BB gun, a
Again,
gravity
this is
knife.
all outside. And
But they
again,
have
and it was use of a licensed security guard. I'm not saying mistakes.
Well, I don't know what
But I think I'm asking that the licensee be given an opportunity here. When we look at the
Did
totality.
this come to the board,
all
Jackie?
The original application?
Yeah.
It did not. No, it did not.
And again,
shots fired.
There's not direct connections with a lot of this regarding.
Well, then why do the police feel the need to park a car outside of this place? They didn't say we're parking a car in the neighborhood. They said we're parking a car outside this place. Can you answer that?
Yeah, I answer you that. Is 100 meters, which is 300 feet, which is in 28th Avenue, and in front of the other spot over there, which is happening all fights every day over there, and no one Simon's coming in. They come in from that side.
Well, why are they fighting in front of your place?
They have to pass to get the park.
So the fights just happen to start in front of your place.
It happens start from there and running down, and they come into mine. We approve with the videos and everything. They still we get the violations for what
We showed videos as to how this strip is along the strip going for blocks. And again, I mean, out of this, you've got the charge, you've got
Bouncer punch somebody in the face. That's a good one.
Yep.
The premise was never licensed before. We didn't receive any opposition on it.
We received no opposition.
No, now we do.
Now we do have opposition?
In October, there was, but it's not part of the record for the hearing, the community board sent in a letter recommending the application be denied.
On a renewal.
I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, it's based on their renewal.
We did sit down with the community board. I was part of,
Well, then again, no,
sit
it's
down
in
with the
between.
community board and the police department when this all had already happened, discussing the security issues. And that's what the police found most problematic with us was the security guard company. Then the summary suspension.
What I find most problematic is the fact that they feel the need to sit in front of this place with a car. And the fact that there is actually residences within gun distance of this place and there's shootings going on. So that's what I
Again,
find most
You know, and I'm
disturbing.
not looking to be argumentative, but I mean, I don't see these shootings as being attributed to this restaurant itself. You're on Steinway Street, a main thoroughfare. There's a lot going on. This is a gentleman that's been in the restaurant business. He's never had an issue before. He's held for 8 years in the restaurant business.
And it's similar to what I said to the
without any
last guy.
problem.
Maybe it's too big.
Without any problem.
He's clearly having them now.
In the past. And yes, there were problems here. And it is a new, this one is a new business.
Or did we shut this?
Oh, no, it's been closed.
There was a summary suspension, October 4th, I think.
In June, they applied
I
to
think
add
that's true.
DJ
I think that's
and
true.
security.
They what?
In June, those what the letters were for.
So he's such a serious restaurant, he needed a DJ.
DJ and security. This was
Oh,
to
I'm
add it to the
done.
method.
It's almost 400 people. Traffic is blocked up.
You
at
guys,
4 a.m.
if you have questions, go ahead, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
But elsewhere, he's been a good operator.
I don't
How
see
then-
that.
These things haven't, you know.
I don't see that.
He's been open a year. Here, when this stuff started to happen, he was open 4 months. So that means that this is really, in my mind, this is something that never should have been given. And I don't blame licensing because what he told us he was is 100% different than what he is.
The restaurant, but
You know, you're not.
I cannot stop the people coming. I
Well,
cannot say don't come inside.
No, but you know what? The one thing is, since October, I guarantee there's no problems in front of your
And because
place.
the cops is not in the front of my place. They sit in 30th Avenue over there, and they sit in 28th Avenue over there, both of that, or he say.
Were you at the hearing?
Yes, I was.
So you heard the guy say that your place is the biggest problem in his precinct.
Of course, because somebody's stepping over them and paying them
Okay.
to shut me down. That's what it is. It's not anything major happen over there.
But you, and again.
If they don't like the security, I change every time or they ask me for the security, I change them. I
Okay.
bring in new people over there. They
All
didn't
right.
tell me change the company because we don't like this company, we don't like this corporation. I ask around, I ask even the police, the chief, I ask him, I say, find me somebody. No, I cannot recommend you nobody.
He can't. All right.
And
I
between-
ask, I've been
They're not
working
supposed to.
around
That's
with-
not his job.
And between September of 17 and September of 18, you have a total of 3 incidents that took place on the premises, 2 in February, and then 1 which triggered the summary suspension.
Yeah, but then, and then on
September
top
30th.
of that, we have a multitude of other violations which show that he doesn't know what he's doing.
I have another charge, yes, was harassment over there, which they write it for harassment when you show the video.
But out of,
Well, we don't handle that here.
but
Go ahead.
out of all these, again,
Mr.
you've
Pacini,
got
We're not, we're where we are. This is, I don't need any more information, so.
I was at revoke, but I will go to cancel and bond.
Is this for both cases combined?
Yes.
I'm with cancel and bond as well. This is clearly not a restaurant. I think the agency was clearly lied to about what it was intended to be. So I'm
All right,
cancel
cancel.
and bond.
All right. Next item, 2477, Moonwalkers Restaurant Corp.
What happened in 98? All right, go ahead. Dismiss 1, dismiss 2.
Yep.
Yeah, dismiss.
Dismiss.
Have a good day.
You too. So, before you call the next one, Tom, his cops didn't show up twice. Do we follow up on that? Can you find out? Here. because if he did, then have Joe call them. Yeah.
Ready to go forward?
Yep.
All right, we're going to recall item 2529, 2530, 2531.
Did I say?
Howard Levine for the licensee. In support of accepting the counteroffer of $30,000 and no suspension, would the board just hear from the head of security for one very, very brief minute?
Yeah, but it's not going to change anything.
Just take it.
Yeah.
Well, are you all on board with that as a counter?
Oh, yeah, I'll get whatever.
No suspension.
Yeah, we don't need to hear from him. What's he going to say? It's not going down.
Just an assurance that the place is being run as a tight ship and that it is on its.
Here's the assurance. I don't even need it, because if they end up sustained on what's pending, it's over. So,
Thank you.
All right?
Oh, so the counteroffer is $30,000,
No
no
suspension.
suspension.
and you're accepting it?
Accepted.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Happy
Yep, you too.
Next item is 2517, Elephant and the Dove LLC.
You guys have any problems with this?
No. He's gonna let you decide.
No, I mean,
Morning.
I don't see any issue.
Morning.
Do you have any issue with this?
No.
I mean, I think the reason it's here is because of the conviction, which I don't have an issue with.
yeah.
There's letters from the
Previously
bank that.
canceled.
He what?
It's previously canceled.
But he wasn't the owner of it.
Right.
So just tell me what the hours are?
The proposed hours are
He was the owner.
Tuesday through.
Chairman?
What?
Sorry,
He was the licensee who was canceled.
Oh, right, but he was but he was canceled because of the arrest, the conviction,
For the availing.
that's correct.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And
What are the hours?
The hours, do you want me to put my name on the record?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pat Brown, for Elephant and the Dove, and Adam Weitzman. The hours of operation proposed are Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 10, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. No music, no DA, no DJ.
No, not even background music.
Just recorded music.
Background music.
Recorded.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I mean, he did have a prior cancellation, but it was due to an unrelated arrest and conviction.
We have for controlled substances,
Yeah, it was a
prohibited
little-
hours, disorderly premise.
Oh, 2001, I see it,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just older.
Yeah.
That was a bar, though, right?
It was a nightclub, sir.
This is a restaurant?
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
And do you own another restaurant, or is your wife
My wife has a nonprofit restaurant, sir, in the same town.
in the same town?
Yes, sir.
And that kind of stuff from before, you'll never get away with that in Skinny Atlas.
No.
Do you have a manager already picked out? Because it indicates you're not going to be taking an active part.
Yes, I do. He comes from RIT. He was in the restaurant school at RIT. He has 8 years' experience.
It's on the conditions of approval will be a personal question.
Yeah, we're going to need a personal questionnaire from the manager.
He was just hired.
Chairman, just for, the cancellation was because of non-payment of the civil penalty.
Okay. All right, I'm fine with this, I'll approve.
Commissioner,
I'll approve.
So recorded music, because I think he has no music on the application.
I'll go to midnight. Across the board.
I wasn't even going to care. All right, yeah, midnight is fine.
you all with that, good with
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And hopefully that'll help you raise some more money for Tackle ALS.
Thank you, sir. I saw Buffalo and Syracuse last night.
Next item, 24.
Yeah, I watched that. That was some game, yeah.
It wasn't that great of
As a
game.
Buffalo alum.
As a Syracuse alum, it wasn't that great of a game, okay?
Next item is 2472, Kismet Vines and Wines LTD.
Can I take 2 minutes, please?
Yes.
Okay, we are back on the record with item 2472.
Good afternoon, Jacob Purdy, Kismet Vines and Wines Limited. I have an off-premise wine and liquor store, Beach and Vine, and I'm here today to speak about a wine cafe called Fire Island Tap, in which I'm seeking a summer tavern wine license. I would like to thank you for allowing the reconsideration of this application. I am sorry I missed the last meeting. I believe I underestimated how important it was for me to be there. I am currently on a holiday with my wife. I flew in last night. I'm leaving tonight to be here. I understand what it is. It is a privilege to hold a liquor license in New York State. I've been in the service business almost my entire life, from working in restaurants since I was 14, serving tables at 16, and a bartender at a full-service bar at 19, mixing Rob Roy's and Rusty Nails for old-timers. More recently, I managed Jamesport Vineyards on the North Fork, and during my 6 years there, trained the staff. We had our staff tip certified, and I took a proactive role as to curtail some of what was happening on the North Fork. We were one of the first wineries to put policies in place, post them at the door, and refuse limousines and groups at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I helped Jamesport try to open a little tasting bar in Shelter Island as one of their 5 under the farm winery license, one of their operations. And I found a little spot for sale in Kismet, Fire Island, which I have been going since I was young. I purchased the liquor store, and behind it was a candy store for almost 40 years. My vision there was to turn it into a quaint seaside cafe that serves coffee and pastries in the morning and wine and beer with cheese plates. I had worked when I took over the place. According to everything that I learned about the town, I was in fact allowed to serve food. Unfortunately, what I didn't know moving in is that my neighbors had been very displeased with my landlord for many years, and after I came in, it just gave them a new opportunity or a new guy to attack. I did have a tavern wine license a few years back that was canceled due to an agent that had come in. Unfortunately, bad timing, because I am there all summer. I operate the 2 businesses myself, and on this one particular afternoon, I had to step out when the investigator came in, sat down, and asked to have a spirit. The person who was helping me showed him the menu, said we don't serve spirits, but allowed the investigator to walk up around the corner to the liquor store, buy a little airplane bottle, and have the drink at the table with his cheese plate. And that was a violation, and I
Not only did they let him have the drink, they made the drink for him. Are you aware of that?
No.
There
I was
were
under the
3 of your
impression that-
employees were involved in this, not 1. That's 1. 2, do you know how we ended up there? We don't just go start doing random checks on Fire Island. It doesn't happen. So you know why we ended up there?
I can take a guess that I have one neighbor who's called every single authority.
No, the complaint we got were that your customers were walking into your liquor store and bringing the liquor back to your restaurant. That's why would he go in and ask for a drink then? That's the complaint we got, and lo and behold, it happened.
Well, when he was there that night, there were other tables that were enjoying wine and beer, and no one else had. That's not the business.
I'm
that I
telling
was
you
in.
why our guy ended up there. Exactly what we were told was happening happened to him.
I was the neighbor who's been complaining is called every municipality numerous times, Health Department, Suffolk
The
County Police.
neighborhood didn't tell your employees to mix a drink that you weren't allowed to sell.
That is my fault for stepping away for 5 minutes, but I don't believe that she mixed the drink. He brought the airplane bottle, he sat at the table, and she placed the orange juice and the cup on the table.
They told him that if he wanted a drink to go into the liquor store and buy the vodka, bring it back, and that they would give him the mixer. And that's exactly what happened.
And it is my fault if I was there.
Yeah, I don't believe you were there. That I
No,
didn't.
I wasn't. I stepped, but when I returned, I was only out for 30 to 45 minutes, and when I returned, he was there.
Do you have the permits you now need?
Yes, I went back to the town with the support of all the residents, and we had 2 public hearings, planning board, zoning board. The town understands what I was trying to do. The code, it was a gray area. They said if I held these public hearings to obtain a minor restaurant permit and an outdoor seating permit, that I would be able to go ahead and reapply for a summer tavern wine license.
So aside from what they told you, do you have any of those letters?
I'm sorry?
Do you have those?
I did forward the information last week. I sent an email, the supporting documents, and...
Do we have that, Jackie? That they have a...
You have a submission from the license in the back, the applicant in the back of the package you have there.
Yeah, I have the building certificate.
Did I miss that?
Right now, at this time, I will have an updated certificate of occupancy reflecting the minor restaurant and outdoor seating permit furnished before.
Did they give, is that permanent, or is that going to be reviewed every year?
It will be reviewed after the first year.
So is that an issue, Jackie?
What are the hours?
The hours, well, the cafe, I open at 8 a.m. to serve coffee, but as far as the wine and beer, it won't be open past 10:30 p.m.
And you have outdoor seating, is there going to be music
There's
outside?
no music, no live music, no speakers outside. There are only some outdoor seats. It's a small little service.
Oh, the whole place is outdoors,
Yes.
okay. Yes.
Hold on for a second, hold on. All right, go ahead.
I would just like to add, it was never, ever my intention to serve any mixed spirits or anything. And for all the work that I had to go through with the town to obtain these permits, I believe under minor restaurant, they would allow me to apply for a full a liquor license, which I have no intention or desire, only wine and beer. Kismet, Fire Island, I'm not there to police people in that town, and I certainly would not allow anyone to leave my premise with a glass of wine or beer, but people walk around the sidewalks with their drinks. And I understand going forward, if I am to receive this Summer Tavern wine license, I will post a sign on my sidewalk, and I will have to stop friendly passerbyers that might be holding a mixed drink and say, I'm sorry, please, you're not allowed on my deck.
One, so we're looking at I'm looking at the planning board resolution from 7/12/2018. Was that in your initial packet when it was initially disapproved in October? It must have been, right?
I don't recall because I've been waiting on the hearings were held in March, and I had been waiting for the second one, so it was just approved in July.
Right, but our hearing was in October.
I had started the application process earlier, only because of the timing of...
I get it, but so you never included this in the application, is what you're saying?
No, because I understand that at a certain point before the license would be issued, they would ask for
Yes,
an
we
updated
would, yes.
certificate of occupancy.
All right, so this says you are allowed to have alcoholic beverages in a small restaurant, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. No live entertainment, no film or video screenings. This pretty much hits everything, but it's only good for a year. So this, they're going to review this every year, you said?
In that paperwork, it does say they will review it after 1 year. At that,
Paperwork indicates that it was approved. And then it said at this point, you need to proceed to building division permit counter to apply for a change of use application, building permits if required. And if required, site plan review.
Did you do that?
that's the process I'm at right now, yes. And I have to build a planter and a 2-foot planter, and I am aware it's just everything is closed.
When that's approved, what will you be issued by the building division?
The certificate of occupancy will say minor restaurant and outdoor seating.
And that'll be permanent CO?
Yes, I'll have that before.
Okay. All right. Any
I
questions?
just ask.
Are you ready, Commissioner?
Yeah.
All right, we're ready, Tom.
Commissioner Fan?
I do see public convenience in allowing this to go forward. Please don't fuck up again, because you may not be the person operating this, even though I see a public convenience. Sorry. So, with that...
That's a first.
Sorry. I will go from 8 to 11, 7 days a week. No live music outside.
The planning board only gives them from 8 to 10.
8 to 10, 8 to 10 then.
Go ahead.
I'll go along with everything she said.
As I'm going to approve with all the conditions. She said you have to abide by the planning board's special permit conditions. This is going to be conditional on you getting the permanent CO from the town after you get the approvals that you need from the buildings department, et cetera. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
2524, Fancy Deli Grocery, Inc.
Yeah, I remember that one from the last.
Good morning, I'm Stephen Edwards, 100 Ocean Parkway, Suite 2B, Brooklyn, New York, 11218.
Who's your client?
Yes.
Who's your client?
Oh, Mohammed Abdul Qadir.
So there's some weird stuff going on in this application, and I don't know that you could even explain it if I asked you to, but the applicant is the brother of the former licensee here, is that accurate?
I don't believe there's a connection, but go ahead.
No, that's before, brother, before the Saul, before Al-Hamdani.
Can you just, go ahead.
Speak into the microphone.
Yes, that was, the owner before, it was brother, Khalil and Al-Hamdani.
You're not the brother of the former licensee.
Wait, who's Khalil?
That was before Mohammed Al-Hamdani, that's old owner.
Are you related to Fatima Al-Hamdani?
No.
Is Khalil
Yes.
Mansour related to Fatima?
Right.
So why do we think he's their brother?
Wait.
That's just one problem, by the way.
Yeah, he filled it up, maybe the application is mistake.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
On this personal questionnaire, it says his sister. The relationship with the current previous licensee was his sister. So,
You're not related. All right, so let me ask you this.
You're
Do you-
shaking your head and you're nodding your head, so
He is not saying, yes, he is not related to the
No, it's not
Al-Hamdanis.
related.
And how do you know Sima Saif Al-Gahim?
That was before the name,
Can you speak into the microphone?
that's my old name.
Your old name.
Which is why this.
Why
Social
did you
Security-
change to a new name?
That's when I fill up for the citizenship. They say, you wanna change it? I say yes.
this any other name that you've been known by, they left it blank.
Which one, when they fill it up?
Did you fill this out form?
I did not.
No.
Because you have the same social security number as Sima Saif.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you had listed that, that would have answered the question.
And do you have a sister? And where are we getting this quote that his sister is giving him a chance to own the business?
In the personal questionnaire.
No sister.
Did you fill out the personal questionnaire? It's very rare we get a chart of the intertwined ownerships.
Oh, we did that.
Our examiners did that.
No, I know, yeah, it's a bit confusing. Yeah.
So, in your words, what happened? So you used to own the store?
Before?
Yes. You owned the store in 2000 to 2004?
Yes, that was before law, yes.
And then what happened?
And then I sold it,
You sold it?
yeah, and
To who?
to Gailan Al-Falahi.
I don't have it on this.
Gailan
That's
Al-Falahi.
not on this at all.
We don't have any record of him ever owning the store. Did he change his name?
I'm not sure is exactly his name.
So who are you buying the store from now?
Because I can't understand any
For
of this.
Mohammed Al-Hamdani.
From who?
We have an agreement of sale, is that, I don't know if that's been
Mohammed-
submitted.
Well,
Ahmed Hamdani.
Yeah.
And that,
Agreement is Ahmed
Ahmed Mohammed Al-Hamdani.
and his brother-in-law used to own the store before?
Khalil, yes.
And the Khalid's wife? No, who owned it before that?
That's his wife, Mohammed.
What's going on here? Why are you guys passing the store back and forth? It seems like it passed within that family
That
a
was
few
the
times.
The family, yes.
Because the past two licenses were disapproved.
The license, I think, didn't come. That's-
Oh, I see.
Oh, no, that's
They both
exactly
were,
what
yeah,
they're doing,
for
because they got a veiling, everybody else has a veiling charges.
So who runs the store now?
Me?
You run the store. Does he have?
You have any partners?
No.
You hesitated.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, part-time.
Like, do you have any partners that own the part of the store with you?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
Well, when did you?
Huh?
When did you?
Before, I mean, and then he give me everything.
Before when?
Huh?
When?
When I started, he say, if you want to make it,
Who's he?
Mohammed Al-Hamdani.
I need a.
Mohammed Abdul Kader? So he was your partner when? In Al Masur?
That's him.
That's me.
That's him.
Oh, well, who was your partner?
There is no partner. I just.
No, who was before? You just said there was a partner.
That was Ahmed Al-Hamdani. It's like.
So Fatima's husband.
Friend, like we.
So Fatima's husband was your partner.
Huh?
He's Fatima's husband, right?
Fatima husband, yeah, yes.
And what store was he your partner in?
The same store.
This one. Did we know that?
Yeah, well, he's worked there since 2010.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
He
friends.
owned it
We
in
connect.
2000. He's been at the store this whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, he's been working at the store for basically 20 years.
Yeah.
Are you really going to own this, or are they just going to let you keep working there?
I'm gonna own it.
Then why did the rent decrease by 2/3?
I don't even know. That's the guy when he feel. I'm surprised when I see it.
You were surprised? I'm surprised.
It should,
Who owns the building?
Nino.
Daniel Nino?
Daniel Nino.
So the rent was $7,500 a month, and now it's $2,500. That's a real deal. And the lease looks like it's falsified. I don't know what to do with this.
I can't even understand it.
Do you have anything to add, or?
Well,
I realize you didn't do the application,
Where
but,
are your questions? Maybe I can try to address.
well, the questions are, there's intertwined ownership interests in multiple delis here, and it seems like everyone that has applied previously for these delis, we've disapproved because they've all done a veiling. So then he shows up, he's the most recent applicant, and he doesn't appear to have done a veiling, although he probably just admitted to it. And the impression we're getting, or that I'm getting, is that they're basically throwing people in front of us so that they can get a license, and that the ownership is actually behind him. And then why someone would drop the rent 2/3 is absolutely unclear to me.
You have an indication of a rent in the prior, in Al-Hamdani's?
Yeah, because it was previously licensed.
I gotta admit, as long as I've been here, this is the first time I've seen a flow chart from licensing.
A what chart?
First time I've seen a flow chart from licensing, who the characters are.
You've represented every one of these applicants.
No, the other gentleman.
I've never been before you on these.
No, they have the same person, but that person then obviously signed off and sent it to him. And then he didn't tell us he changed his name when it's clear that we asked him about it. He said in his personal questionnaire that Fatima is his sister. He's telling us here he's not. She's not.
She's a sister of someone who was connected to the business, yeah. He should have been more personally involved with this individual Galabni who prepared the form. But he's here today to try to clear up.
Well, who's going to work at this place who works there now besides you?
Me and Khalil.
Khalil Mansour.
Yeah.
Who owns,
Before, yeah.
and he applied for this place in 2015 and was disapproved for a veiling. How do you pay him? How do you pay him?
We pay him check.
Based on what?
Hmm?
Based on what? Is it based on how much the store makes, or based on what?
It's like he make like 400 a week.
Well, like 400 a week, 400 a week?
400 a week. Yeah, we have proof for that.
He's your only employee?
Yeah, he's employed.
You have any brothers? No. So you're an only child?
No, I have brother right here with me.
No. What's the brother's name?
Mahmoud, Nu'man, Nashwan, Muhammad.
Can we vote?
Yeah.
I know that when I
The
inquired
the members are going to vote now.
there's been no alcohol violations in the store the entire time he worked there.
No, but there's a veiling. And he just told us, one, I think he admitted to a veiling, but counsel would know that better than me. And two, his employee applied for this license previously, and we disapproved him for a veiling, and I'm not convinced that he doesn't have a interest in this, so.
You ready to vote then?
Yes.
I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I find this to be one of the most convoluted, incomprehensible cases ever in front of me. I vote to deny.
I vote to deny as well. I think that there is, that's for cause, that denial.
All right.
I think that the employee has a background interest.
Next item, 2551, K&C Liquors, Inc.
Commissioners, Chairman, good afternoon. Megan Moyo for K&C Liquors, and the principal of the applicant, Francisco Burgos, is here as well with me.
Okay, can we take 2 minutes to talk to counsel?
All right, we're back on the record.
So we are here after a reconsideration that came back, and I wanted to speak to, I think, what the primary issue has been on this license all along, which is the saturation of the neighborhood. It's the Belmont area in the Bronx. It's a very pedestrian-heavy corridor on Fordham Road, the proposed location, 557 East Fordham Road. And there are a number of licenses in the area. This location has been previously licensed by this applicant's family and a successor in the last couple of years. And by relicensing this location, we would bring the neighborhood back to the number of licenses that there have been over the last couple of years. And during this time, the population has been growing in this area, the development and the transit and the number of people coming through,
Is her son going to be part of this?
no,
Is he working there?
no. She's going to be primarily running it with one employee. That person has not been hired yet because we've been waiting on the license, so no.
And, okay, then I don't care about the son. He's not going to, should this license get granted, he's not going to be able to be in the place
I understand.
due to his previous criminal activities.
Yes.
I don't have any questions. You guys have any?
Unless he had a certificate of disposition one day, but
Right.
at this point, so.
I don't have any
Was there
questions.
opposition to this
Yes.
before?
I vote to approve.
I vote to approve as well.
I'll vote to approve as well that Kenneth Burgos is not allowed to work. Obviously, he can come in the place, but he's not allowed to work for it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Happy holidays.
Next item is 2545, 9th Street Venture LTD.
Is that dismissed?
So is this accurate?
Yeah, so that's what I see on the note, so I'd have to agree with if that's what Mark says.
Yeah, I said.
All right.
right.
So you are here asking us to take away the letter of warning and just dismiss the charge, correct?
If possible,
And you were told that by the prosecutor?
yes.
Okay. I'll vote to dismiss.
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 Merry
Thank you so
Christmas.
much.
Next item, 2527, Healthy Organic Foods and Deli, Inc. Okay.
Put your name on the record?
Benjamin Sharav, appearing for Nagid Morshed, the Healthy Organic Foods in Delhi.
Jackie, it doesn't really make it clear. This got denied and then reactivated?
Yes.
That information really is, it's more of that's behind the scenes, disapproval, reactivated.
For deficiency stuff, or, okay. He just got canceled in September.
Yeah,
So do you know why you got canceled?
I returned the license back. Because we closed the store down, not enough business to cover the employee or the rent or the tax, the insurance, the.
No, but we canceled you.
No, I returned the license. I don't even know what's happened.
Availing refusal to appear and testify. You were asked to come in and talk to us and you refused.
No, I bring the license and they asked me question and I answer the question.
He said he didn't get, you said you didn't get the notification
What's the notification?
to appear.
I have a
You told me you were sick and he was.
Yeah, I was sick one day.
I have a CNC for cancellation
Send
of
me some
license
letter,
and bond.
I didn't get.
He surrendered it first, so that would have been, right?
Right, but the bottom line is we did ask to speak to him and he wouldn't come in, right?
No, you.
I have
say
a
he-
diabetes, I have high blood pressure.
Say he surrendered the license first. Okay.
Got it, all right.
But this is a different location.
Yes.
This is a different
But the charge was availing, which means
Which means someone.
you're Ali Naji?
No, I'm Morshid Nagi.
So who's Ali?
Ali is my brother.
Oh, there's my brother. Why is that relevant?
So you gave your brother the store.
No,
Who's Adel Nagy? Who's Adel Nagy?
my nephew.
So you gave your nephew the store.
No, they was run it for me when I was in a hospital, when I have my high blood like 600, in Harlem Hospital. I was there for a couple,
Well, he applied.
huh?
He applied for a license.
I don't even know.
He was in
When
the,
we closed the store, the landlord called me, I have good relationship with him, and they all him back rent $15,000, and I pay it, and I have a proof. It's not in his name, it's not in, I don't know where he do that in a, I have the proof here with it, check.
When were you in the hospital? In January of this year?
Yeah.
All right.
he's in the hospital, he's better now, or as
Yeah.
better as he could be, and he's, has a different location.
Yeah, it's a different location, but he let his nephew run the other location with
When I
his
was in
license before he sold it to him.
I don't tell it to him, I was in a hospital. Look, that is-
Yeah.
I'm the one who paid the rent. They were like for 7 month rent.
Well, during that time, he applied to us for a liquor license for that location.
I don't know, because I was in a hospital, I
He
was
didn't know
sick.
about that.
All right.
This is me, look, my bank.
Yeah.
$15,000 I paid the landlord.
This is another one.
No,
Your nephew's not in
ready
this
to vote?
business.
Yes.
I closed it down.
Commissioner Fan?
Yeah,
The store is closed down.
and your nephew isn't part of this business.
No. You think I'm passing away? When I was
Yeah.
in hospital, they take me in the ambulance. He's gonna take over the business. I don't, he was in a business, he will pay the back rent.
You are Marshad, correct?
Yeah. He has a good record, I believe.
Oh, well, they're in the process of voting right now. So.
How long have you been running this place?
How long we,
But 8 years, 9 years?
You've been running the store also for 8 to 9 years?
Not even on your employment history.
Huh?
What's in Healthy Organic Foods? Is it open right now?
We just opened it like 9 months, 8 months,
That's what she asked you. How long have you been running this store?
8 months, 9 months, the new store.
It's not on even on your application.
Hmm?
It's not on your application.
What other stores do you have now?
I'm in Fifth Avenue, 2289 Fifth Avenue, Gourmet Deli.
So you have 2 stores?
Yes.
Chairman, the question was completed about 9 months ago. So
You have 3 stores.
But the star one, we close it down. And I bring the license back.
Did you do this application?
no, I didn't do the application.
You're supposed to update the application when the information that's on there changes.
I don't know,
I just got this, I'll.
I don't know.
Update the application if that's.
Got canceled on one. So your brother and your nephew are gonna be running this?
Yeah, I go back and forth with them.
They are gonna be running this?
Which brother and nephew?
How many brothers do you have?
I have Ali Naji, Ali M. Naji, Yahya Naji.
How many work for you?
Huh?
How many work with you?
One, they used to work for me, and then when we closed the store, Star One, that's it. Everybody on his own. We're not together. He don't work for me no more.
So back to her question, who's going to be running this store?
The store, Mansour Al-Hadai,
Who's that?
he's in the tax bureau.
So none of your relatives are going to help you with this store?
No, I don't need that kind of help.
Yeah, they're really not helpful.
I do 18 hours a day. I go over there like 10 hours, over here 10 hours.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to vote on this.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
vote to deny, but it's approved.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, 2552, Ross Code Lounge Corp.
Terrence Flynn on behalf of the applicant. This matter is here, I believe, because the previous licenses at this location were canceled. This applicant went to the community board. The community board approved the application. He's held licenses, has no impediment to being licensed. He's retained a licensed and bonded security company. He's also talked with the local police department, met with them. They have another follow-up meeting this Friday where they're going to come in with the security company to go over procedures that they're going to use at the location. I'm happy to answer any other questions. God bless you. Happy to answer any other questions you have. He has, his wife works in the kitchen, which he has done at other locations that he's had, and he also has his son works with him as well.
Is he fully aware of the history of this place?
Yes, and he went to the community board and discussed it, linked with the community board.
And they did, this community board did supply a letter, voted not to oppose.
Right.
Don't see a lot of those.
Glowing endorsement.
Yeah. Not.
So my problem with this is, one, it's huge.
Yeah.
And two, we canceled both previous licenses, and the last one we actually had to do a summary on. And it appears to me that everything he wants to do there is almost identical to what they were doing. He wants to have a DJ. He wants promoters. He wants live music.
No, he's not using any promoters.
That's wrong.
He's not using any promoters.
So what's, other than that, what's he doing differently?
Management. Could I just read out a little history of myself? Okay. Okay. This is what's make me different from the other owners of businesses in the neighborhood. My name is Karen Cross. I'm 52 years old. I live at 12315 Sutter Avenue, South Ozone Park, for the past 28 years in Community Board 9 and 10. I've been an active member of the community through supporting charities, nonprofit organizations. I'm a member of the Jamaica Rotary Club for the past 10 years. I'm also a licensed pistol and shotgun licensee from 2006. I opened my first business, which is Ross Bar and Lounge in 12504 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hill, Queens, 2004. Since then, I've been in business in the nightlife until present, totally 15 years. I previously had 4 liquor license premises. My most recent one was Code Lunch Corp, 19715 Jamaica Avenue, Hollis, Queens. I had it for 3.5 years, but I decided to sell it in May 2018. I opened it as a family restaurant business. My wife worked as a chef. My son worked alongside with me to overlook the employees, enforcing no sale to minors, intoxicated patrons. With my teamwork, I never had an issue or summons from the SLA, NYPD, Community Board for 3.5 years, with just 6 months ago. I came across Zen Lounge located at 11715 101 Avenue, which was not in business at that time. I then got in contact with the landlord, of the building about renting it. He was very happy because of my background in the nightlife for the past 15 years. I decided to do my own research, contacting an attorney for the licensing, which was Mr. Flynn. I also surveyed the location, ensured that there were no church, no schools, no on-premises liquor license 300 to 500 feet away from the address. Mr. Flynn also looked into the location and said he does not see any issue obtaining a liquor license at that premises for me. I then take the next step, went to the Community Board 9, filled out a 30-day notice on July 29, 2018. I was told to attend the public safety meeting August 20, 2018. When I went, I answered all the questions, provide all documents of the establishment, security, parking, and how I will keep the neighborhood safe. I then went to the committee board meeting, September 13, 2018, where they held a vote, voted not to oppose. I then moved forward with construction, painting, redoing the upholstery, furniture, upgrading the security camera, face recognition, obtaining all the permits, health department permits, the utility bills, building department, everything that I had to. Based on my 15 years of nightlife experience, I support the committee board investment. I ensure this business will be operated as a safe environment for my patrons and the community. I will ensure that I have licensed security, no promoters, and I have never used any promoters for any of my business for the past 15 years. My venue will be created to the committee and managed professionally by myself. I will be present to ensure all the above taken into effect, just like my previous business. It was a pleasure, very enlightening, to attend the South Queens Nightlife Enforcement meeting on December 12, 2018, listening to Deputy Chief Executive Officer Michael Jones from the SLA, Associate Director.
Okay, we have your letter, so you don't need to finish it. And you're basically reading exactly what we have.
This is my only means of supporting my family and all my investments.
All right. How are you going to control 340 people with 4 to 5 security guards?
Well,
because the last 2 guys that came in here and wanted to open this place, they said the same stuff to me that you're saying. And we had to summary the one, and we put limits on those licenses, and it still had to get summaried.
But I'm not going to operate it as a full club like the previous owner, the managements before. I'm going to operate with the neighborhood. I don't want to get 300 people in there, which there's not people like that going to come in the amount of people. I'm going to cater for a less amount, which I will control. Because of
So you want to run it like who? When it was what?
None of those that run it before. Those was all management and the owner's decision to bring in promoters and the way how they run it.
I mean, we had pretty severe limits on the hours of this place, and we still had to close it.
I think one of the differences here is that you have an operator who's operated other places without there being problems. And yes, this is a bigger place.
Well, he had some, and he didn't have extensive problems, but he did have some problems.
In the last license that he had in the last 3.5 years that he ran, there were no problems at that location.
Does that place hold 300 people?
No, it does not. He's also a resident within the community. He's got attachments to the community. He has the security company. He's going to use a age verification system for proofing and IDing the people in the premise.
I mean, the one we just shut, we had no live music, no promoters, licensed security, 1 a.m. closing during the week, closed Monday. Previously, which also got canceled, we had 1 a.m. closings throughout the week. And it still ended up being a problem. I mean, sometimes, and I've said this twice today, these places are just too big. And I'm not saying every place that comes in here is too big, but when we have this history, I don't know what we're supposed to do with it.
The applicant would even agree to restrict his occupancy to 200. He's never going to, and it's not his intention to run it in that way where he would have the 300 or 350 people. He would stipulate as part of the conditions for issuance of the license that he would keep the occupancy at under 200.
This is from the security company.
Right, yes.
2 days ago.
And based on the history previously, I'm going to ask to restrict the hours significantly. Because we did it before. I mean, I'm not giving him I'm not giving him more hours than the guys that were there before him, and we also had to cancel. He can come back in a year if there's no problems, but.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to survive with that paying $13,000 a month rent.
Well, he should have looked at what their hours were. These were stipulations on the licenses.
On those licenses, which had nothing to do with him. And in this case, he went to the community board with his plan.
The community board didn't oppose these 2 people either. I don't have a great deal of faith in that community board. And that the sale of alcoholic beverages ceased at 1 a.m. The patrons were gone by 1:30, 7 nights a week on the first one.
Again, I don't think he should be held to
If
mismanagement.
if his history was crystal clean, you might be right, but it's not. I mean, he has 4 licenses, 3 of them he has adverse history with. Disorderly premise, and I'm not telling you that it's recent, it's not.
It's not.
But there are some in 2011 and 2013.
The security company that he's hired is a well-known security company.
Okay. I don't have anything else, do you guys?
No.
Ready to vote?
Why was the license surrendered for Code Lounge?
I sold it. It's still valid, would be expired on the 31st of this month.
Ready to vote then?
Yes.
Commissioner Fan?
I'll vote to approve with the chairman's limitations.
I didn't put anything on it yet.
I know.
She's
Whatever
already
he
guessing
says.
what you're going to do.
I like her.
I'm not sure.
I know you know, right?
It's like a blank check. I mean,
Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to vote to approve, but how many days a week do you want to be open? Let me ask you that, sorry.
Okay, I plan to open as a family business, like 7 days a week. I'm gonna do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, do a lunch to bring in revenue so I could pay the bills, because the big bills, including light bills, every stuff. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in that neighborhood, those are the days that people really comes out, because we have a neighborhood crowd that works all the time, so they don't really hangs out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They more hangs out and stay later, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, four, because those are where people comes out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, because there's bar hop, they go to family functions, and that's the time, because I see it previously what happened.
Well, I'll vote to approve as well. During the week, closing time, I'm thinking around 1 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? I'll leave it up to the chairman for.
Oh, you guys are being,
for
making me the bad guy.
Friday, Saturday. Yeah, we're gonna let you be the bad guy.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'll go with 2.
I cannot work on that. I cannot survive on that.
That's what the other guys had. After what happened here, I'm not gonna give you 3. If you come back in a year, we will. But he had 3 on Thursday through Sunday, and that didn't work out real well.
But they was all, the previous of those businesses because of management and ownership. The address doesn't bring.
But then I just pointed out, while you've had 4 licenses, you do have some adverse history.
I understand.
And you can have the DJ, no promoters, 5 security guards, definitely 5 security guards on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On the other days, that's up to him.
And the cap on the occupancy?
And cap of the occupancy, I don't need the cap, because that's just something to get him in trouble.
Yeah, and I
You can go with the CO as the cap.
Yeah.
Can I ask just one clarification, Mr. Chairman?
Mm-hmm.
Can he make application after 6 months to come back here if everything is good, because it'll take another couple of months to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hold him, it doesn't have to be 12
Okay,
months.
no,
but-
I just wanted to make that clear.
And, no live music either.
No, like.
All right, we all good with that?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, I'll live with 2 across the board if you want. If he can.
Yeah.
At least on Fridays and Saturday, 3.
You okay with that, Commissioner Fan?
Yes.
I heard a murmur, so I wasn't sure.
He's honestly.
2 across the board.
Honestly, he's not gonna be open later than 1 o'clock on.
No,
those
but he
other
can
days.
have it if he finds out he is. So 2 across the board. 7 days.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item, 2501, Alina Zabala.
Good afternoon. For the licensee, Marconi and Associates by Louis Cesari. This is a CNC for a civil penalty of $10,000. This was a case, I don't know if anybody remembers, that I was supposed to put in a change of a method of operation last time I was here. And after we sent in the notices to the community board, a March operation, I believe, occurred, and that's when they got these current ones. So I was not able to file the change yet because these were outstanding.
What's the change going to be?
I believe we had to change their hours because they had an 11 o'clock. We were changing it to 2. And there were a couple other changes I just don't remember off the top of my head.
So you're going to give notice to the community board of that?
We did, but what happened is after we sent in the 30-day
all right,
notice,
well-
these dropped, and we just haven't been able to move forward until we resolve
Well,
it.
you probably should go meet with them because, refile it and go meet with them because we're going to ask, that's the first thing we're going to ask you.
We've just adjourned it, so they know this is out there, so it's not like that notice died. It's
Okay.
just been adjourned.
Yes. And I'll approve, accept, whatever.
10,000 accept.
Next item, 2533, La Vida Loca Restaurant and Bar Corp.
For the licensee, Louis Chisari, this is a default I would request to be open and allow me to put in an answer. Unfortunately, this restaurant used me originally earlier on, and then for whatever financial reason they thought went to a representative who has failed them twice. Once before was in early November. I actually have the penalty. They didn't realize it needed to be paid on Friday. I have it here with me today. They brought it to me yesterday. I understand.
Yeah, and I'm sure that guy was, or woman was cheaper than you, and that's.
Yes, and
But this,
unfortunately.
unfortunately, this was delivered to a person at the address, so I'm not going to send this to council. I'll let them go ahead.
I'm at 5,000.
We would accept that, Your Honor.
Okay.
All set?
5,000.
5,000.
And I will mail in today the other payment.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next item, 2519, BCSW LLC.
2519, you said?
2519.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm here, Franklin Janelle, as representative for the applicant, BCS LLC. This is a new application stemming from a previous licensee who surrendered their license. They found the opportunity and purchased this business. As we know, there was a husband and wife team previous to this, and they had marital problems, and they had a little bit of bad management, so it didn't work out for them. But
little bit.
Their loss is our gain, and so that's why we're here. We're going to continue the bar with food. We're going to cater to the local gay community, but open to all, obviously. We believe this is going to bring a positive impact on the community, additional revenue, employment. We're going to have...
Who is Stephen Wright?
This is one of the principals, Stephen Wright, who's here with
And
me.
you're going to be active in the premise or no?
Yes.
Yes, you are? Because you have quite a history here.
Yes, it's a really long time ago, Chairman, and since that bad history, he's successfully run one location called Camp.
Where's that?
That one is in downtown Brooklyn. The corporate name of that is MST 179 Smith Street Corp. And there has been very little history there since he's run it in 2005. Additionally, he's managed another location, Boxers NYC LLC, since 2012. Since has stopped managing that, but that also was run very positively with very minimal.
So the two of you are going to work there together? Yes. Every day? We don't have any issues with Boxers, do we? Do you know? You guys go meet with the community board?
They never asked us to. We notified them, and they posed no opposition, and no one showed up at the 500-foot hearing either.
That's odd.
We have,
Did they send anything?
no, not that we know of. Not that we know of. I requested opposition about a week ago and didn't receive anything. I didn't receive any opposition. I did receive something in reply.
Oh, we didn't either.
You're on the license for camp?
He is, yes.
When was that issued?
Camp was issued We believe in 2005. Well, it was filed in 2005. My apologies.
2005.
It was filed in 2005. It was probably issued a little bit after that.
Okay. That have some history, but more than 10 years ago.
These two gentlemen have experience running a bar. They've worked at a bar. One of the principals, the other one has actually managed bars for quite some time and has been very successful at it.
What are the hours?
I believe we submitted the hours of, just to verify. Sorry about that. And it's a small place. It's not a huge place. Maximum capacity 74.
So you own, while he's looking for that, Mr. Wright, you own MST 179 Smith Street Corp.? That's your place? And who, do you manage that as well?
Yes. Along with some other. Yes.
And all the bad history is from the other place, Speed Management Corp.?
Yes, I was strong-armed out of there. When I saw what was going on there, I realized these were not people that I wanted to be involved with, and that's when I started pursuing my own.
So do you have any history? Because they don't, for whatever reason, it's not, none. You had no history at the place you're at now? Adverse history? Okay.
So you propose no security, just recorded music, DJ, no dancing?
That's correct.
No promoters? Do you want to allow karaoke?
No.
Did you find the hours, sir?
I'm still looking, believe it or not.
I'm still looking forward to it.
Well, why don't we ask them? What hours?
They know it?
I believe it's 4 to 4.
You want 4 to 4?
Only because next door they have similar hours and we want to keep up with them as well.
So you're going to go back between the two places? Is that your plan?
One's at 179 Smith Street, one's 683 Fifth Avenue.
Oh, so you can walk.
It's a pretty quick commute.
Yeah, so it's 4 to 4, Mr. Chairman. I found the hours that we submitted.
All right.
You ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
Commissioner Fan,
I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll vote to approve as well. I mean, it was a bad history, but it was a long time ago, so I'll vote to approve.
What's the security guard situation? None?
None. It's a small place. It's very
Oh, you're going to have DJs?
Yes. Not every night. Not every
No,
night.
I just,
Special events.
say that again? We didn't have any. Did you say no promoters?
No, I don't.
No.
No, we didn't say anything.
I did. It's in the application that you,
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Right. We suggested no promoters.
Oh, yeah. Does your other place have a security guard? No. You have DJs there? No. Yeah, see, that's my... All right, we'll try it like this.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll vote to approve, no promoters.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful holidays. Take care.
Same to you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next item is 2520, 812 Broadway, Inc.
There's Frank.
I'll be right back. I don't know what's going on.
Frank Palillo. Good afternoon.
What's the number?
2520.
Okay.
You did good on this one. Congratulations.
The tan's fading, though. It's...
I have no tan, sir. One thing, it's fading is one thing, but having none is.
Dismiss.
Yeah, dismiss 1 and 2.
Dismiss.
Thank you.
Next item is 2521, Down and Dirty Tacos and Tequila Bar Meatpacking LLC.
Say the number again.
2521.
I'll accept.
May I just speak?
Yep.
This may be the wrong meeting to broach this topic, but I was hoping the members would consider $500 as a flat fee across the board on late renewals, whether or not the licensee has a bad record.
It's ironic that you bring that up, because we just had a meeting about that, but it wasn't 500. Wasn't it, Jackie? How much was it?
Raising it.
Was it? No, not this case, but didn't we have a meeting and we were discussing the renewal situation, or was it another charge?
We were discussing
Improper renewal.
Oh, no, but we were gonna tell you, we were gonna ask you, and who else were we gonna ask?
No, we don't want it to know Commissioner knows.
No,
We were going to take into account, right, and take into account how long they were renewed, you know.
Right.
A bunch of things, yes.
It's just that improper renewals, that doesn't really impact on the record. The record has nothing to do with the fact that he didn't notify.
I know, we're talking about it. It's gonna be one set fee rather than, but we're gonna let you determine what it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's a mistake. It's just going to.
But you're on the same wavelength as us, but it's not gonna be graduated. It's gonna be one set.
It's going to be worse.
It could be, I don't know. It's up to
gonna be
her.
worse. So I should shut.
Oh,
my
and
mouth.
she's gonna talk to Chris
I should
too.
shut my mouth.
Yeah.
We could just deny the application instead.
Do that.
Basically, it was, you and Chris are gonna get together and decide that. We just haven't, you'll find out tomorrow, I guess. All right, I'll accept.
Accept.
Merry Christmas, all.
You too.
Next item, 2471, 1325 CCPJ Corp.
Alteration.
Trying to run a meeting here, Mr. Flynn, come on.
Who is that Flynn that was in here earlier today? Is that related to you?
No.
Oh.
Which matter is this, Tom? I'm sorry.
2471, 1325 CCPJ
Okay.
Corp.
I'm confounded on this one. Per the meeting that we had on this a couple of months ago, we re-notified the community board again to go through everything. We sent them a copy of our Sidewalk Cafe application, which they wanted. Then they wanted it directly from Consumer Affairs. They made the request to Consumer Affairs. Our application was coming up for renewal on December the 15th. So they wanted a copy of our application for renewal, which was also sent to them. And my client went to attend the meeting of December 5th, and when he got to the meeting of December 5th, they wouldn't see him. And never gave us a reason why. And all he's looking to do is to add the Sidewalk Cafe at the same, that's already been granted by the city of New York.
How many seats, tables, all that kind of nonsense?
It's in the application here. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Says here that the applicant withdrew their application, to a later date. I'm sorry.
Yes. And I have a string of emails here I didn't bother you with, but they show the whole set of conversations back and forth, sending back and forth the documents.
It just says number of tables 30, including the Sidewalk Cafe.
Right.
So it's already there, and
It's there, it was approved. It's just when they gave us the application, it was during the wintertime, so it wasn't seen that it was there, and it was left off the application. We're just adding it back on.
and it was open before and you enclosed it, or?
It's not an enclosed, like with glass enclosed. It just has the railings around it. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're serving food out there already, you just can't serve liquor.
Can't serve liquor.
Right. You're not using it now, though, right?
No, it's just
Because it's too
December.
cold, yeah. Can you show me on this diagram, is this outside? Is that the outside right here?
Yes, this is it here.
So, but is that the tables, or is this?
This is a set of tables for the outside. The restaurant is in here. So these are the tables Commissioner Ford referred to.
So what's all that around?
This is a setback. It's a really big sidewalk that goes around.
That's the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the number of tables, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 tables total for the outside.
Yeah, I think it's 30 people.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go back, thanks.
Looks like each table can only accommodate.
It doesn't even look like it's really outside, that's what I'm confused.
Establishment question.
That's because this is the, oh, I don't know what you're looking at, the pictures?
Okay, so you count it correctly.
Is this it? I'm just not sure. What is this a picture of? Is that the part of the restaurant, or is that the outdoor space?
No, this is the inside. There's the bar and everything else.
What about this?
That's the inside too. These were pictures, I guess, that were submitted with the.
Yeah, there's no pictures.
They
of
were in the
outside.
file, and our people
But there are
put
no
them in.
pictures of the outdoor space.
Right.
No. This is.
Okay, well, that's not helpful.
Yeah, it's a subject to.
So the community board still continue to protest?
No, they haven't gotten to us at all.
They haven't gotten to us. And from our original
So
notification.
there
date, it's
is
like
no
8 months.
protest from the community board?
There's a letter from them indicating that the application was withdrawn, which he's telling us is,
And that was back from March.
Did you have communication with the community board? No, it's fine. I don't.
Notification we did, and
Okay.
there was a complete string of emails back and forth about the sending back and forth of documents, asking me, please be on December 5th. My client appeared December 5th. So by all means, please.
Receive hard copy of the application.
I mean, we're not using it now, so in theory, if you want me to make one more attempt at the community board again, I can try and get it on for January. Since we're not using it. But this will be the third time that we're trying to get them to put us on.
Can I see those?
The restaurant has no adverse history, right?
no. Not that I'm aware
I'm
of.
gonna vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve as well. No, I don't see any reason for you to have to come.
I
back again.
approve.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next item is 2511 Montauk Ventures LLC.
This is an offer of compromise to resolve the charges.
1,000 accept.
Accept.
Next item is 2493 NYC Event Space LLC.
I saw that this was marked down as a default. I have the pleading that we sent back and the demand for a bill of particulars with the confirmation of the facts being received by the authority. It's here, should you wish to.
So you
look at
wait,
it.
so this was delivered and you're saying you did file an answer?
Yes.
And what was the date of the answer?
Date of the answer was October 26th,
Okay.
received by the authority.
All right, back to counsel's office. You don't want to take 2,500?
I would have to ask them. I'll put it over if you want and come back.
No, just go back to counsel's
Okay,
office.
thank you very much.
You all good with that?
Back to council, yes.
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Next item, 2499 Billiard Balls Management LLC.
Put your name on the record.
Michael Ferrari, by Farber Schneider Ferrari, on behalf of the licensee.
And who's with you?
I'm here with Anahid Hatzigeorgiou, who is one of the principals of the licensee. I'm also here with the general manager, Paul Kovaleski. And I will speak to the default, and I will speak to the substance as well as necessary.
Go ahead. I don't know that I care about the substance, but you can speak about the default.
With respect to the default, I apologize. There was a series of miscommunications between me and Ms. Marsico, counsel of the counsel's office. She had sent the original notice of pleadings. I did respond to it with a not guilty plea, and she and I had discussed a possible resolution to the matter. Following that discussion, she sent me a new notice of pleading with a later date, identical to the last, but for the different date. And I was confused by it. I contacted her by email. I didn't get a response. I probably should have followed up. I did not. I wish that I had, but that second notice of pleading, again, identical to the first, resulted in a default, and I do apologize for it. And I did speak to her today, and I spoke to her yesterday and today about it.
And what'd she say?
My understanding from talking just now to Counselor Riano is that it's acceptable, that they accept, they don't object to the licensee going forward with the conditional no contest offer.
What was that?
I had offered $3,500, and my understanding from my conversation with Mr. Riano a half an hour ago was that that is acceptable.
I'll take 3,500.
I'll take 3,500 as well.
Well, I'll take it too. I had 3,000 written down, so. Win some, you lose some. Thank you.
Next item is
Have a good holiday. Thank you.
2512 Blue Parrot LLC.
Good afternoon, Thomas McCowan on behalf of Blue Parrot. Conditional no contest plea. Civil penalty, it was a single violation. I watched the tape, undercover officer, took a phone call, walked outside to take the call with a drink in hand.
I'll accept.
Thanks.
I'll accept.
Didn't have much to say. Watch the tape.
Next item, 2537 Whiskey Barrel Bar LLC.
Similarly, conditional no contest plea, adjudicated letter of warning, it's a single charge. Disorderly premises, and I went over with the client. We waited for some time, and we decided we just need to move on.
Letter of warning, accept.
Is this your client right here?
Nope, different matter. It is my client, but it's on for a different matter. But he's welcome to come up here.
I'll accept.
Thank you.
Same here.
Okay.
2523 Bar 13 Inc.
I have the licensee principal here with me, Thomas Sullivan. This is the default I identified on Monday, and I spoke to Mr. Sullivan. I said, this is an open case for events that took place on February 24th, and I did identify another notice of pleading. I went over it with Mr. Sullivan as to perhaps why it wasn't responded to. I don't know if you have a signed mailing, but what I was able to ascertain was that this is a second-floor premises above a hardware store. And I've been representing them for years. The mail has been intermittent, but for the most part, we respond to everything. There's a hardware store on the first floor, and they have an arrangement with the postmaster, which is somewhat unreliable, whereby the postal carrier is supposed to open up the foyer and put the mail in the mailbox. So I'm responding to this
Well,
notice.
this was certified, correct, Chris?
I'm trying to pull up.
Yeah, we're trying to pull that up.
And it was delivered.
But it may have been delivered to the hardware store. That's my point. And they may not have passed it on to us.
I'm interested to know, have these been corrected?
I don't know exactly what they are.
It also got sent to his address, his residence. Where's he live?
Well, right now, I just took an address right now. Tom's going through a divorce right now. That's his home address. But his
According to USPS, it says delivered and left with an individual.
Right, which my suspicions are that is probably the hardware store, because the hardware store picks up most of their mail. They don't have the same carrier. So the
So what they are is no food past 10 p.m. Method of operation does not include security guards, faulty sprinkler, or no access to sprinkler main, and noise, and no hand drying device.
That's what I was asking, have those been corrected?
we'll find out right now, because I'm hearing it for the first time. Yep.
Withdrawing charge number 1, I'm at 5,000.
But he's asking us to send it back. So my question to
You
you
really
is...
want it to go back?
Well, no, I'm not finished. We may accept an offer. I'll talk to Mr. Sullivan about that. But I did come across another case, which, if Mr. Riano could take a look, that may have also been defaulted upon. So if we do anything, I would like to clean up the record and perhaps entertain a global
So let me just ask you this, so assuming you were correct about the hardware store, what's the deal with his house? He's not getting mail at his house?
No.
Go ahead.
You can tell him, Tom.
I'm going through divorce. I don't live there anymore. My ex and I are very amicable. I see her at least once or twice a week. I often get the mail. I've been the owner of this establishment for almost 20 years. I've always gotten letters to my, and my wife is giving that, but I never.
So you're still, or your wife is at 28 College Place, Brooklyn?
But what I did, Mr. Chairman, was I took a new address from Tom, using his parents' address, so I'm going to notify licensing of a new address, and he says he's, he
The
knows
other
his
case
parents'
is on the calendar for the 9th. There's a default.
That's 127,583?
Yep.
Yep, that's what I suspect.
And you do have adverse, all right, I'll send it back, and both of them back.
That's fine.
Well,
And then do a global, whatever.
Back to council.
well, do you want to settle the charges now?
I don't know what the other one is, and it's not in our calendar, so I'd
Oh, it's
rather
on
you
your
go
calendar.
back to council and
coordinate
do
them
it
all.
collectively, yeah.
So we're going to send this one back,
And the other one.
and the other one I'll just take off the, won't be any board action, it'll just be council's office withdrawing.
Yeah, no, I don't, Meredith has this one, so,
Yeah, I'm sure it's going back. I mean, it's just a disorderly, so.
Right,
it's not a hard
okay.
thing to
All right,
figure out.
and I don't know if it's noise or which the disorder is, but I'll work with
well,
council.
we will
to get it
withdraw
back.
charge 1 on that, because she already made it clear that
Excellent.
she wants to.
Okay, thanks, I'll work with that.
All right, the next item is 2498 FC Lounge Corp. You also have on that 25, 46, 47, 48, and 49. So there's a default on 2498, and there's an offer on 25, 46 through 25, 49.
I'm appearing on this because I submitted the plea. There was a summary suspension. We went through it all, and it's a horrific case. And license, the offer is surrender, cancellation,
We'll take it.
and bond claim. So that's it. And, I explained that you forfeited your ability to have a license. It wasn't even a close call.
All right, so cancel on both,
Just include as one penalty?
yes, cancel on bond.
Very well. Have a good
Thank
Christmas.
you
and I'll
too,
see
take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Next item is 2478. It's a request for declaratory ruling regarding additional bars and the eligibility for them.
Good afternoon, Alexander Victor, for the future applicant.
Wait, you're here for the,
We're going to make an
Declarative.
application in a few months.
Where is this?
It's in Manhattan.
no, we're doing, this is,
This is a request. You want to introduce it?
yeah, go ahead.
This is a request. The statute says once you have a capacity of over 1,000, licensing or the authority in their judgment can give more than 3 bars. And we have a situation where the venue itself is 6 or 7 floors. It's about 75,000 square feet, and it will have a legal capacity of at least 1,500. We're anticipating that with the community board, they're going to want us to reduce the occupancy, or at least the patron occupancy, and there is a number that we know that we would agree to, which is less than 1,000 if we could get other terms, but the plans call for 5 stand-up bars. So we want to have,
Oh, I see, okay.
What community board is this?
it's Community Board 1.
And I would just note
But it's
that-
more a question of he wants to be able to get the 5 bars.
Right, and
Right.
I'm on the law good. I just want to make sure that this ruling on the record, when we write this up, will just be specifically related to this particular location.
Well, so, I mean,
Just this
if
one.
you
Well, I
make
mean,
it-
all we'd be doing was basically saying that the
I'm asking for-
capacity is being defined by the CO.
Correct.
No, Council's point is that occupancy is relevant in other sections of the ABC law?
So,
Well, how do we define it in the other sections?
In this section, it's
Well,
all about
well,
capacity. I'm sorry.
It's generally talked about capacity, okay? So you have the Bottle Club law. You have this, and there's a couple.
No, I understand that, but how is it defined?
It isn't, which is why this is here. So I think council's,
Well, I mean, it has to be limited by the CO, because every CO has a number on it.
No, but you could also say that if you say the maximum capacity, if you issue a condition of the license saying the maximum capacity of this place is 100.
Well, hold on. Go ahead.
And the question is is that the maximum capacity, what you've directed, or is it what's in the C of O?
Okay. I would think we can override the C of O as long as we don't go over it. But, all right, I'll limit it to the facts of this case and say that the capacity is defined by the CO of this building.
So should I at a later date provide counsel's office with, specific information to peg this ruling to this location?
Because limited in the writing.
I made it,
Yeah, the ruling will be,
Well, then you
Right.
submit the ruling with your application.
okay,
right.
Assuming they agree with me.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, thank you very much, happy holidays.
Yep.
Next item is 2516, Team Papelita, Inc.
Good afternoon, everyone. Argelio Rodriguez for the applicant, Team Papeleta. I've been asked to request that this be put over due to a scheduling conflict.
2516.
What's the next date, Tom?
Be January 9th?
1/9.
All right.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else signed in. Anybody else here to have something? All right.
It's only over.
Ready to move forward?
Yes.
All right. 2473 and 2474.
Oh, wow.
Dismiss 1, 2, and 3, dismiss 1, sustain 2 and 3 in the second proceeding.
We do have.
I do want to, go ahead.
Going, and so the summary would still be in place. So it may make the most sense, considering that these charges there's not a long history to impose a penalty on these charges, so that there is a penalty on the record of the license before the new.
Oh, I didn't even know there was another one. I had enough here. But I want to sustain charge 1 in the second proceeding because I think there's clearly a pattern exhibited over a 12-month period showing that this place had inadequate security and procedures to safeguard its patrons and employees. So I'm going to sustain 1, 2, and 3 in the second proceeding.
Are you all good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
And I was at cancel and bond. But you say there's something pending anyway?
There's summary. at the
gunshot,
moment.
yeah.
So on another case, but if you want to cancel on this, I'm not. That's also.
Yeah, I'm at cancel.
Yeah, I'm in cancel and bond as well.
Cancel and bond.
2475.
Dismiss.
Dismiss, withdraw, dismiss, dismiss it, so the case is dismissed.
2479.
Accept.
Accept.
2480.
Accept.
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 2481.
Accept.
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 2482.
Accept.
Accept.
3,000. Accept.
2483.
Accept.
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 2486.
Accept.
Accept.
2,500. Accept.
2487, the request was withdrawn.
It was,
Yep.
yeah.
Withdrawn.
That's the bummer.
What do you mean withdrawn?
The lawyer sent a letter and they're not
Overruled.
requesting it anymore.
Apparently, the licensee went ahead and
Suspended anyway.
suspended so it's,
I know that did come up when we went over it, and they should have shown up.
So it's just what, withdrawn or?
Withdrawn.
withdrawn, right.
Withdrawn.
Request wi- And 2488, that request has also been withdrawn. Apparently, there's a conditional approval of the license, so. 2491.
Cancel and bond.
It's abandoned, yeah. Cancel and bond.
2492, just so you know, that penalty in the adverse history has been paid.
Has or hasn't?
Has been paid.
All right.
I'm at 3,000.
I was at 6
Okay.
because of the prior history.
I'm at 3,000.
All right, 3,000.
3,000.
2494.
Accept.
Accept.
3,000. Accept.
2495.
Well, you got to bring these people in.
Oh.
It's for pizzeria.
It's Spring Valley. It's a problem.
All right, 1.9 for the licensees. 2,500.
This is just publishing these rules?
This is just, okay to.
Just publishing.
Yes,
I'm-
okay to publish.
okay
okay to publish.
And there's a hearing date set for a board meeting in April, I believe.
Okay, okay to publish.
Yep, okay to publish.
So that's it, you have to agree to that, whatever that date is, it's,
I think it's 4/17.
yeah.
All right, we agree to that date.
Agreed at 417.
Yep,
2502.
I'll accept the changes to the delegation.
accept.
Yes. Yes.
2504.
I was at 10,000.
Yeah, I thought this was low too. I question whether we should even keep it open.
I just had much higher,
All right, 10,000.
10,000.
2505.
That's a counter at 10.
I got it.
Right.
2505.
Accept.
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 2506.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
2509.
Accept.
Accept. I was at cancel.
It's a tough case.
25,
Okay.
09,
Good with that, Commissioner?
6,500, yes.
Oh, no, you're okay with the last one, right?
Yes.
All right, 2510.
Accept.
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 2513.
Accept.
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 2514.
Accept.
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 2515.
I was at 10,000.
I was too. Is there anything pending here, Chris?
Let me take a look. It's a little low.
All right, we can keep moving. Counter at 10.
I think that's probably better, yeah.
Counter at 10.
Counter at 10.
2522.
They have not renewed.
Okay.
2522, you said, Mr. Donahue?
Yep.
All right.
4,000.
Okay.
4,000.
4,000.
2525.
3,000.
3,000.
3,000.
All right, 2526. That application was withdrawn just Monday, I think.
That's probably a
Okay.
good thing.
2528. I think I talked about this. It's got to be held over again. There were some documents from New Jersey.
25.
One
Wait,
nine.
2532?
2528. You may have pulled it because I already told you it was held over.
Oh, yes, I did pull it.
2532.
3,000.
3,000.
3,000.
2534.
Withdraw charge 5 at council's office request. Accept.
Accept
6,000,
6,000.
accept.
2535.
4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
2536.
Accept.
100, accept.
Accept.
2538.
This is, I get why this is low. I just didn't understand why we're scheduling hearings when the witnesses aren't available.
Since 1990.
I mean, yeah, that works.
So good with that?
All right, yeah, I'll accept it.
Yep.
2539.
Accept.
2,000, accept.
You good with me renewing?
Yes.
Thanks.
2540.
Accept.
Accept.
1,000.
2541.
Accept.
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 2542.
Accept.
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 2543.
I'll accept the changes to the board delegation.
Changes. Accept.
Accept.
2544.
This is
That's granted. Send back to council's office.
That's fine. Yep.
back to council's office.
All right, unless I missed something, I don't have anything left.
No.
Nope.
Chairman, you have anything else?
No, we're
All
done.
right, then we are adjourned.